beaches every fall. She ain't asking for a parade downtown. Don't need diamonds or a golden crown, but this whole house would come undone if she ever stopped what she's done. Yeah, the world keeps spinning fast, but she's a reason good things last. Raise a glass to the mothers staying home, holding hearts together when the days get long, sacrificing dreams so the kids stand tall, picking everybody up when they fall. Yeah, the strongest hands I've ever known ain't always working out on roads of stone. Sometimes they're holding babies through the night, keeping generations headed toward the light. She taught respect and she taught grace, how to look the hard world in the face, patching jeans and patching broken hearts, holding everybody together when things fall apart. While the world chases money and fame, most folks never even know her name. But every soldier, worker, daughter, son started somewhere, and she's the one. Yeah, you can't put a price tag on the love that keeps a family strong. Raise a glass to the mothers staying home, holding hearts together when the days get long, sacrificing dreams so the kids stand tall, picking everybody up when they fall. Yeah, the strongest hands I've ever known ain't always working out on roads of stone. Sometimes they're holding babies through the night, keeping generations headed toward the light. One day those children gonna understand all the prayers behind those steady hands, all the tears she hid so they could smile, all the miles she walked, every extra mile.
Hello? There we go. Wasn't muted. They fucking changed my mic over somehow. Hello and welcome back, Tater Nation. It's Thursday, and you know what that means. Potato boomering it up again. It's Tater Talks Thursdays, where the takes are hot, the mics are on, and the potatoes are fully baked. Apparently myself, I don't do that, but today wore me the out. So this is the round table. This is the open panel. This is where bold ideas meet real conversations. No scripts, no safe little sound bites, no flakes. Just organically grown conversations served fresh. And you know us potatoes, we have lots and lots of eyes, and we like watching all those interesting things that humans do up top. And tonight we're going to be digging into the big questions, those sharp disagreements, and maybe even a little uncomfortable truths. But we do it with logic, respect, and a willingness to actually listen. So pull up a chair, check your ego at the door, and let's dig in, because this is Tater Talks Thursdays. And of course, before we begin, I have to read. This program contains open dialogue and unscripted commentary. Guest participants speak for themselves. Their opinions are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of or the host or this channel. Conversations may include strong language, conversational perceptives, or emotionally charged positions. The purpose of this format is dialogue, not endorsement. We expect all participants to follow platform terms of service and community guidelines. Obviously, don't be personal attacks, threats, or calls for harm will result in immediate removal. Viewer discretion is advised, with the possibility of the strong language. Goodness, the chat is on fire this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whatever it may be for you guys, right? Thank you very much, Homestead, for getting in and starting the chat off. I didn't have my equipment started, so I couldn't highlight you, but thank you very much. I hit the pin. Marcelary, if you're still in the chat, thank you very much for being here. Yeah, I was muted. I did it again, didn't I? Hello, everyone. Mr. B, appreciate you. How are we doing this evening? Is in the vetting room. Mr. B is in the vetting room tonight. If you want to come in and chat before jumping on. Static Age Show, thank you very much for the engagement. Leia Bobe, as always, thank you so much for being here. Homestead and Marshall, there you are. Hey, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Apprentice, good to see you. Been a few days. Hope you're doing all right. Thank you very much for being here. Looks like that might be all the people that are in the chat. And of course, as always, if I don't hit you out, please scream at me. Hey, Tater, I'm here. I like to know who's in my chat. And thank you very much, everybody, for being here. All right, so Tater Talks Thursdays, as always. So we'll be jumping over into the panel room and make sure that they're ready for us. And I'll be right back. Hey, guys, can you hear me? Hey, you guys ready? Awesome. Right on. Okay, I will unmute. And all right, welcome in, guys. Thank you very much for being here. So you guys have been looking at the prompts. For the people in the chat that may not know, the prompts are in the description. I do try to put them in there. But I'll read them off. If we discover life on another planet, would religion become stronger or weaker by that discovery? Number 2 would be, should AI be allowed to vote if it becomes self-aware? Number 3, if robots do all the jobs, what gives human life purpose at that point in time? Number 4, would humanity be better off if nobody could lie? Number 5, could a perfectly logical society ever be truly moral or immoral, I guess? Number 6, what's more dangerous, a population that can't think critically or a population that thinks critically but trusts nobody? And a prompt I do kind of want to talk about. It depends upon who ends up in the panel. I would like to discuss the Carmelo case with anybody that would like to discuss it. I'm just kind of curious because it is hot information right now. I didn't necessarily want to put it on the thumbnail and use it as clickbait per se, but let me get this music turned off here, maybe. I don't know if you guys can even hear it, actually. But, all right. So, do you guys have somewhere that you'd like to start on the panel?
I was trying to offer General Smedley the opportunity to go first.
Sure. Do you have anywhere that you'd like to start, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we start with, like, if robots do all the jobs, what gives human life purpose?
Sure. Yeah. Number 3, if robots do all jobs, what gives human life purpose at that point in time? Okay. Welcome in, Barn. I appreciate the engagement, buddy. All right. And as always, if anybody doesn't know, Barn has his own show as well. Do want to support our farmers as much as we can. All right. So do you guys have anything that you'd like? Hey, Beatrix, real quick before I get into this. Appreciate the engagement. Good to see you. All right. So do you have anything that you'd like to start with on it?
On the robot question, number 3?
Yeah. Sorry, Smedley.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is sort of a nihilist view of it, but why are they going out of their way, putting the environment in danger, basically putting in these data centers that nobody wants, nobody's asking for, yet it's like the very same mechanism that has to be in place.
Hey, JB, good to see you.
You know, AI and AI robots.
For sure, Barn.
Right?
For sure, buddy.
Well, if they're willing to just push people aside, the environment, everything, right?
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to do with people once they do achieve AI robot intelligence that can do just about any job physically in the trades or a CEO or an accountant or whatever.
Sorry about that,
What do you
Smedley.
think they could?
Um,
That's all right.
I just realized I was over on the wrong screen. I'm pretty sure they could see you, but they couldn't see, or they could hear you, but they couldn't see you. I just switched over. Anyway, sorry. Continue. Apologize. It's been a long day.
That's all right, man. Like once they have AI robots that can do all these jobs, the purpose is to what? Make life easier for the 8 billion plus people on this planet? I see there's more questions than answers, right? It's not a question of if you can come up with an answer for what purpose would serve. It's more of like, what questions are we going to be asking? Like, what do we like? Just devote ourselves to religion and prayer all day, or
appreciate you,
know what I
apprentice.
mean? And or are we gonna devote ourselves to the arts and create things? Or it could be different for everybody, right?
Right.
But that free time, what people be doing? I mean, are they gonna go out and homestead and start growing their own food so they don't have to eat the slop that's being served to us in the local supermarket? Or I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like the purpose, the questions are insurmountable. It's I don't think there's any answer to this. It's just as things come along, you're gonna have to just ask the question like, is there a purpose to life? And if that's the case, I'll say the technocrats, are they gonna allow us to, just pursue our interests? Right? And then what resources are we going to take with us in the pursuit of our interests? And that's like complete opposite of what they've been trying to do for the last, say, 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
Where they've been saying that we're consuming too many resources, too much fuel, too much energy, too much water, too much food. The cow farts are destroying the atmosphere. You can't eat beef. You got to eat bugs. You see where I'm going with this? Let's have lab-grown chicken. Let's have lab-grown beef. You know why? Because that's good for the environment. But these data centers aren't good for the environment.
No.
They're destroying the environment, right?
Yeah.
So there are conflicts here in this storyline, and that's why I'm continuously asking questions like, okay, if they do achieve this, and like you say, what purpose? How's it going to serve man?
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Welcome in home, Heaven Max. I appreciate you joining the panel. Do you have anything that you'd like to put in real quick?
No, I'm a bit tardy to the party, so I got to catch up for a minute.
No worries.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you jumping back on. So basically what it is we're talking about if AI robots take over all the jobs, what are we going to do? What purpose is there for human life once that happens? And that's the biggest issue, right? So the people that are pushing for the AI robots think that they're going to live inside of these robots. That there's already processes in place where they say, I don't know if this is true or not, but they can download a psyche onto AI, onto a digital hard drive, which at that point in time, you can become the robot. But these robots aren't going to be for the common man, right? They're going to be for the technocrats, the elites, the people that think that they're going to be able to live forever, right? Welcome in, Bandit. Appreciate you joining the panel. Is there anything that you'd like to put in while you're right here?
No, I'm kind of fresh to it. I kind of heard a little bit of it, but not enough to have any strong opinion.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, so basically like Smedley's saying, if they get this, what are we at that point in time? What are we to them? appreciate you joining the chat, Hardwire. Good to see you. And if anybody in the chat doesn't know, Hardwire does have his own show as well. So keep an eye out for that on Sundays. He goes live. Yeah, Larry, chicken and beef aren't hurting the environment. Crappy practices in industrial farming is. And that goes back to like one of the videos that I just put out where we're forcing so much water into these data centers. When are we going to realize that, yes, the industrial for farming is somewhat harmful, but we can't eat data, right? Like, I think Smedley, you were saying that, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. On that, I think that I hate to say it, but I think that argument is going to fall on deaf ears because we had the same argument about
right, Larry,
15 years ago when we just said the same thing about ethanol. Putting
welcome in, Vosh.
in the
Appreciate
gas
you.
tank. You can't eat gas, but we're putting it in the gas tank to go to work.
Sure.
And you see how that's affected both the price of gas and the price of food.
Right.
I'd have to look up studies on this to say for certain, but I'm pretty sure that the 10% ethanol, you get less miles per gallon with that than you do straight gasoline.
Correct.
You do. You do.
Yep. And it's a solvent, a corrosive, so it eats away at plastics and things like that. So it actually deteriorates your vehicle over time.
Small engine like your lawnmower.
Yeah, especially. Yep.
And what's interesting, right, is when they did convert over and they started putting the corn into the fuel.
Yeah, exactly,
right?
Larry. I heard that.
Worldwide.
It's wild to look at it.
Because corn and rice are the two primary foods that feed the planet. And now that we've shifted away from feeding people into feeding gas tanks, right? The price of corn went through the roof. The price of rice went through the roof, right? And where is the benefit? It's like these people, they're so short-sighted. They don't look to the future. They don't care.
That's no good,
It's on a quarterly basis. It's for corporate interest. It's for the bottom line. And people are basically at the cost of that and our needs. And where's our representation? And that's what kind of really pisses me off as an older person, because we used to have representation. Not to say anything was perfect. It wasn't. But at least we had things in this country and people that actually cared about what they were doing in these agencies and these federal agencies, either on a state or a national level. And that's all gone. Like, where's the representation?
That's true, Beatrix.
All I see is our politicians basically mimicking and parroting the talking points of the WEF, right? Charles Schwab and his group, right? The same thing across Europe. Dude, they shut down all their coal plants and nuclear power in Germany, and they ended up having to buy their energy from Russia. Right? So none of this makes any sense unless there's a larger agenda at foot, right?
Right.
Well, I don't want to get into a larger debate about it, but the one thing that you said that I do take issue with is I think it's always been the case. It's just one of those things that, like, at one point we had those rose-colored glasses on. We said back then things were done the right way. But if you were the age you are now, growing up to where you would have been the age you are now then, you would have been saying the same thing about what was going on then. Do you follow me on that?
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
Like I like the go-to is I'm drawing a blank. The guy that said the war in Vietnam's lost. Cronkite. everyone always points to Walter Cronkite as being like the by the book newsman. But then when you actually go back and look at where he put his thumb on the
Yeah,
scales,
I'm
he
trying to
was no
fight
different
this.
than Dan Rather or
I don't know
half
how
the
exactly,
people that
but
are on the news
I'm
today.
trying.
It's just one of those things that he had back then.
Gotta fight them
It
away
was
from
set
the
up in
drought
such a
areas.
way
If they
that
want to put them in, they
people
got to put them in
had
where the water
trust
is.
in what he said. It wasn't that he was actually trustworthy; just people had trust.
Hey, Mr. Sam, good to see you.
I agree with you. I I know that things have been bad for quite a while, and even when I was young, I knew things were off. There was no question about it. I guess what I was trying to say was I believe that there were some people that were still like sheepdogs within our own government, whether it be on a state level or a federal level, right? And there's always going to be those people, but it seems as of in the last, say, 10 or 15 years, they're completely, I think they're sidelined on purpose. I think that the grooming that goes on for these positions and then these political appointees and things of that nature, uh, 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 in going back to the question, like, what is the purpose? Like, as a citizen in this country, you no longer serve a purpose because your vote doesn't matter. Look what just happened in California, right? Like, and then they get away with it, right? Same thing here in Massachusetts, man.
Yeah,
The
it's
Democrats
wild.
have been powerful,
Wild that
30
they're what
plus
they're doing to
years,
the Salt Lake.
you know?
Hey, Pharmacat, good to
None of
see
it,
you.
none of it's
Appreciate the
adding up
engagement.
anymore. And I think that's where people are kind of like just falling off and just saying, well, there's nothing I can do.
And as
My
always,
vote
anybody is
really
welcome to
doesn't
join the
matter.
panel. Remember,
And que sera, and that's it. You know,
Yeah,
that's
right.
that's
So
what I'm seeing, bro.
right. So
well, hey, just real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to take it like 180. I wasn't saying like you're dead wrong. I was just like trying to put the flip side on there. I feel like your reaction to what I'd said was like I was trying to.
No, I didn't. No, don't worry about. I didn't throw that at
so
all.
so
Yeah.
getting back to the prompt, right? So if robots do all the jobs, what would be the purpose of us at that point? Anybody?
Religion.
I gotta ask: is our only purpose to work?
Well, to the
I feel
government.
like
What
our
is
design purpose is to praise God, right? Like from a
let,
Christian worldview, like we're here just to praise Him until we die, and then we continue to praise Him.
hold on. I understand the question is the relationship between us and the government. We're supposed to be the government's
Well, you didn't
boss,
panel
but
on my
ever since,
panel.
the
It's good to
income
see you,
tax
Kat. I'm just
was
kidding.
passed as a constitutional amendment. It's one of those things that we're all in debt to the federal government for the rest of our lives, and it's one of those things that's like, all right, let me put it this way: you're you're able to edge out
Oh,
your
Beatrix,
boss
that's funny.
in
You do that.
his ability to direct his subordinates. What point is your boss irrelevant in that they does the company eliminate his position?
I think. How about this? If we look at it, the robots are the government. If you think about it, right? Like what they're doing with the cars, the kill switches, they're basically trying to micromanage everybody, right? Through technology. And I think that it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's your boss or the CEO or the guy in the mail department, right? It all replaceable. All replaceable.
Yeah, they are, Kat. Of course they are.
And
They're
that's kind of
yours.
black pill, but that's the way I look at it, right? it is the government. I think the AI, the robots, that is what the government is trying to morph itself into.
Welcome in, Leia. I appreciate you joining the panel. Do you have anything to say?
Well, yeah, I think a couple. Thank you, by the way, for having me. I think a couple of people touched on it already, but I definitely don't think that we are just worker bees. I think, if anything, the government, quote unquote, the shadow government, if you will, quote unquote, like whoever's really in charge, would love us to think that we're only worker bees and we don't have any other purpose, right?
Sure.
But we do, and that's to have connections with others and to serve God. That's arguably our biggest purpose here, to multiply, to raise children who will go on to serve God and bring more people to his kingdom and make the world generally a better place.
So what are we supposed to do then?
About which part? I'm sorry. About the AI becoming...
Yeah, if robots take over all the jobs and we're no longer worker bees, we're no longer toiling for the 6 days a week that we're told to in the Bible, what are we doing at that point in time?
That's also true. That's also, I mean, I guess men would find a different way to toil, and that's another thing too, because if robots take over and we can't work, I mean, how are we going to have families for the women to raise as well? It's a very good point.
Right.
Good point. We'd have to get resourceful and do a whole lot of bartering and, be like a robot apocalypse.
Welcome in, Bert. Appreciate the engagement, buddy. Actually, we are livestock. Yeah, that's why the flock cameras, right? That's just it, is we have to start understanding that. So there's good to technology, right? I'm not opposed to technology, but it's like I mentioned in my video about the water compared to servers. Is this the right place for this data center, right? As we're talking in the chat, Aaron, who is it? Aaron Brockovich gets a map that's putting out all the data centers, and they're all in drought-ridden areas. They're not going in the places that have the water. They're going in the places that don't have the water. And why is that, right? So the question then becomes, are they really bringing in the jobs that they say that they're going to bring in? Because they say they're bringing in a bunch of jobs, but once they're started, once they're running, then it's a handful of workers. Once the robots take over those jobs, then they're no longer there at all. And they're quickly becoming that. So at that point in time, what do we do? Because it's quickly becoming that we have 3D printers that print houses, taking my job to obsolescence. We have machines that are starting to try to roof, taking other blue-collar jobs to obsolescence. At that point in time, what are we supposed to do to toil? Because it never says in the Bible, by your mind, you'll create machines that will move mountains. It says that by your faith and by the sweat of your brow shall you move mountains.
You could always be creative.
Creative doing what?
Well, I'm painting right now while I'm listening.
Okay.
Like, I'm taking a pot and making it better so I can give it to someone.
Sure. Appreciate the engagement. Cleaner 409. A robot apocalypse? Yeah, right. Data centers are going to wait a little while. That's an interesting take. Why do you say that? Tech can be great. The issue is who is running it and for what purpose. Thank you, Bert. Appreciate that. That's basically what I'm saying is the technocrats, the ones in power, don't seem to have our best interests at heart, right? So the ones that are in control of all of this are the ones that we have to be concerned with, and they're the ones who have the ultimate power. So what's going to happen when they get that tool in place to take us out of the equation? What do we do? What gives us purpose, actual purpose?
You bring up a good point. I gave my opinion already as far as like purpose, like life purpose. As far as work, I mean, I know you're trying to engage us in a hypothetical, but it's hard for me to get there because I just know, like you were saying, 3D printers are going to print houses and it could make your job obsolete. But do you really think that it's going to, even if these 3D printers are magnificent and can print an entire house, is it going to put it together perfectly? Is it going to plummet? and do the HVAC correctly, is it going to notice all the little things you notice and put blue tape on before you get the buyer to come through?
Not
You know
yet.
what I'm saying?
Not yet, but we're not talking about right now. This is when the robots take over. So this is the hypothetical of those are already gone. We're already
you just
at
gotta
that.
enjoy the Matrix.
So how are we supposed to do that? Because again,
I honestly haven't thought that far.
by the sweat of your brow and by faith shall you move mountains. This isn't faith, guys. We're running into a future that's dystopian at best. Armageddon at worst.
I agree.
So what are we
Yeah, I don't
supposed
agree
to
with
do?
any
I
of the
understand what you're
AI.
saying, but that's like the Amish speaking about computers too, right? Like it's a perspective thing. When everything was horse-drawn carriages and everything like that, then it went to automobiles. Everyone said, "Oh, well, what's going to happen to all these people that care for the horses, that clean up after them, et cetera, et cetera?" And we just found quality of life got better, but we didn't stop praising God. We didn't stop finding ways to be busy. So I don't know. I think it's in our nature to find something.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, perhaps if we bring this topic again next week, let me think on it for a week. 'Cause like I said, I admittedly just haven't thought that far ahead. It seems kind of an impossibility to me.
That's why.
So
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's why I'm bringing it to the front, because nobody's thinking about it. And like Smedley was talking about, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that we are not talking about. We don't even see going on. And when this happens, if this does take place and when this does happen, we become obsolete. What is there for us at that point in time? Definitely
But
something we all need to be thinking about.
The robots need us to be consumers. So there has to be some kind of reason for us.
How?
Otherwise, there's no
So
reason to be a robot.
once all the robots take over, what's to consume? What do we need to be consuming?
When we're looking at the studies on AI, we're seeing, because everyone was like, everyone's just going to be stupid. They're going to rely on it too much. And then what ended up happening is the extremes started happening, right? There are either people that were using the tool resourcefully, like most engineers. I think 80% of all engineering firms require you to use AI in your logarithms and equations and stuff like that. So, it helps the smarter people get smarter, and the dumber people are just using it as a crutch. But we're seeing that kind of divide,
Yeah, Static Age, that's him. So is that a good thing? Hey, Emmett, welcome in.
See, I think it's a bad and a good thing, because when you look at the shift, it's like 80% become more intelligent, but 20% get left behind. And then you're kind of into like the whole no child left behind argument. Like, at how much do you just say, well, you made your own bed?
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe how I'm understanding, Heaven Max is basically trying to say kind of like people use AI now, that will kind of depend on how successful people are, like how resourceful
Welcome in, Crusader.
They are.
Good to see you, man.
Apocalypse happens.
Good to see you.
I think that's kind of what he's getting at.
That's fair. But yeah, it's definitely something to think about, because if we're talking religious, then we're talking the Bible. At that point in time, the Bible nowhere does it say just go and mingle and have fun, because once the robots take over, then what kind of relationships are we going to have at that point in time, let alone the work? What kind of relationships are we going to have? Because we're already running into it already. We're already running into the womb robots and whatever the little toy robots that women want to say that are going to replace men. Right? So when the robots do take over completely, do we really even think that there's going to be a next generation? At that point in time, that kind of brings us into another prompt. So if there's nothing else on that prompt, we can move on to another prompt if we want.
I would ask that you bring it back. Let me think on it, because like I said, I've never given it the appropriate thought, but I would like to. So bring it back next week if you don't care.
It does tie into like reproduction rates too, so I do think there's a broader topic to even discuss. Yeah,
we can bring it back. Like I said, I regenerate or recycle my prompts every once in a while, so we can bring it back up. That's not a problem if we want to think on it. and see if we have some kind of pushback, if you will, whatever you want to call it. But that brings us into the next prompt, basically, that says, should AI be allowed to vote if they become self-aware? So now all the robots are taking over. We don't have basically any purpose but to vote at that point in time. Now they're doing all the work. They're putting themselves at quote unquote risk. Should they have a vote?
No, definitely not. Because even if you were to have that outlook, like they're putting themselves, quote unquote, at risk, it's kind of that's their entire purpose and what they're created by humans to do. If anything, at that point, our vote would be about the only thing we would have left. You know?
Right.
It's a lot up to the parents, right? So, like, my oldest stepchild, or however you want to describe that situation. But anyways, in second grade, she came home with an iPad, and it automatically had what's it called? Autocorrect on it. So she wasn't even trying to learn how to spell out words. She would just kind of get it close, and it would change it automatically for her.
Right.
And the only way to stop it was to say, "I do not consent to an iPad. Send home paper." It's really stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, that is wild to think about that too. Again, I don't have kids, so I don't deal with the school system. And thinking about that, again, going back to the robots taking over and we have no jobs, basically, the next generation, if we were to have one, would be then raised by robots. So another thing to think about.
Yeah, but homeschooling's increasing, right? Like, and the ratio
So let's be
of
honest.
public to homeschool.
Sure.
So that does help out quite a bit with that.
And
you know,
with without not
let's
having
be
to work,
honest.
you'd be able to homeschool. But go ahead, Emmett. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let's be honest about voting. Most people shouldn't vote. That includes AI because AI is not people. AI is not even a thing that behaves like people. It's a self-policing machine, and what it does, it takes into account what you prefer and makes it so that you will keep on using it. So
Right.
it's kind of it's a self-masturbatory drug that goes directly into your brain that is telling you how good you are or what you want to know specifically, and is tailored towards you.
Yeah.
It is a tool and it can be used as a tool, but in the grand scheme of things, we are not looking at something that has to be or will have any kind of impact in what is a being. So it has no ontology. The only ontology it has comes from the fact that it's trying to seek out what you like and how you like it.
Right.
I'm gonna say this: robots will get the right to vote, just like corporations or people. It's not going to be left to us. They're not going to give us the choice. It's like everything that's being handed down to us.
Oh, I see.
It's because it's already been decided, and so
By whom?
robots.
More celery. More
government.
celery now.
Oh, well,
The
who do you
government
think
is God.
vote-
I just noticed
No,
that.
man. Look, in the United States, corporations, right,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
are people.
Uh-huh.
That's an instrument of
people are God?
business. No, dude. Wrong way to look at it. I'm not saying
I'm
that.
asking you. You say that I have no like I can do anything. If there's nothing I can do about anything because we have a thing that has decided everything for me and he can do everything and whatever he decides will be the word that is in fact God. So I'm asking you again: is this corporation of the United States that decides everything for you God?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then you are you have a denial directly of God. You think the government is God for you, which is fine. You can be a lefty if you want to.
No, dude. You're bringing this in a totally different direction. It's not
It's an
that at all.
ontology, okay?
Yeah,
What is the power of God? What does he decide?
right. Just
Yeah,
the
what does
same
he
as when,
decide?
right? Just when he made corporations people, right? He allowed that to happen.
Yes, I mean that is in fact just that is not a thing he decided to happen. We decided to happen. We are the ones who have
Yeah,
the
more
decision
celery.
That's exactly
of
what I
society.
I might have to call you
God-
Mars
God-
too,
It happened.
because
Okay, but
Marcy
it's
is what
not
I know
good
you
or
by.
bad in
Even your
accordance
picture,
to
even though you
God. It's
changed that
something
too.
we decided to do in accordance to our preference. If you say they're bad, it's because we are bad. when it comes to the idea of whether or not a corporation, so this corporation is able to decide for you and do everything perfectly and get it done because it decided before you and after you, and you have nothing to say about it, that's an idea of God. And you can have that idea, it's fine, but it will be an idea of God.
Right, but we're not giving the choice. Just like the data centers that are being built all over our country. Just
Barn,
like
you actually
everything
did.
that's going
You actually
on.
said that. Wow.
This is
The only choice. All right, I'm going to cut this to the quick. The only choice that we have is to pick up guns.
That's
a choice. If you want to go to war, you can go. You can do it, right?
Easy with TOS.
Try to be careful of what you say.
All right.
Okay. So
I'm going to back off this.
You're all right. I completely understand. This is a hot top. This is more hot than I expected it to be. But the biggest thing is we already have an AI robot that has citizenship somewhere in the world. I can't remember exactly where, UK somewhere, I want to say. But there is an AI robot right now and has been for a couple of years that has citizenship. If they are willing to give citizenship to an AI robot, when will they give the vote to them as well? Especially the Democrats.
We?
What's that?
Who is we? Who is we?
I shouldn't say we. They, whoever they is. Again, it's in the UK. I'm not sure. I can't think of. I mean,
for example, I know that the Democrats and the representative of the Democrats allowed 20 million people to come into the United States undocumented.
Right.
And they did it because they had the power to do it. But who decided to give them power?
Well, obviously, we did.
So we as the people who are citizens?
Supposedly.
Okay, well, if that is the case, then it's not an I don't have a choice. In fact, I do have a choice. My choice is my civic duty as a person to do as we all do.
Well, it depends if you believe in Revelation for starters, and then secondly, if Revelation is happening, right? Because the mark of the beast people will take willingly
let each other
and
talk. Let each other talk. I was kind of a dick there.
This is the real funny part when it comes to people who are citizens of a country that is being run specifically through a democratic process. When they say, I have no power. In fact, what you're saying is, I did nothing. Okay, it's you derelict your duty and complaining about your derelict.
You guys are fucking funny.
Because you,
oh my goodness,
you should have a choice. You are a citizen. You have a civic duty. You go out and vote. You tell people what you want happen. You do what is right. That is in fact part of the civic duty of what you have. So if you're pretending that there's nothing and everything is decided of you because of the overlords of the world, okay, of the world, then give up. Don't do anything. Why do anything at all?
Right. Yeah. So I understand where you're saying there, but like I appreciate Leia. Like she posted in the side chat, Sophia was her name. Its name. I shouldn't even call it a she, but its name that was granted citizenship by Saudi Arabia. So, and like you just said, Democrats are willing to let in millions of immigrants to get the vote the way that they want it to be. I didn't vote for that. I wasn't privy to that. That wasn't even something I'm pretty sure they ran on, letting the gates open wide and let the immigrants flood in.
Yeah, they did.
They did. That was one of the running platforms. That's fair. But I didn't vote for that.
You listen to the Democrats and what they had to say. Yes, of course.
Sure. I don't listen to the Democrats. But the thing is again, I didn't vote for that. So I don't have a choice in that. So where's the choice again?
There is a choice.
Where?
Become politically active.
I am politically active. I have 240 followers.
Didn't you know that they were telling the Latin, the Hispanic community that everybody could come here and they're gonna get more shit.
Right. But
so that was politically active to you?
What I'm saying is the ones that vote for the opposite side that win, we don't vote for the immigrants to come in, to flood in. So we didn't have a choice. So when it comes down to the votes being given to AI, and again, we're agreeing that Democrats allowed the immigrants to come in, flood into the country for the votes, right? So when are they going to give the votes to the AI robots to get the votes? That's, again, we're talking about a future.
Go ahead, less people should have access to the vote. Less. Okay,
I
and the
agree.
reason why
I
is
agree.
because that is a political proposition, and we ought to be moving towards that when it comes to the political spectrum, and moving towards getting people in
Appreciate
power
you,
that
Barn.
will go on and do that kind of things. And we ought to understand the opposition. So if we're going to be politically active, we have to have the correct interpretation and the correct arguments when it comes to do these kind of things. If my interpretation in the politics is I can't do shit, I don't have anything. I can't do anything. It has been decided for us by the overlords, by the Blue Jays. Oh, they have all the power. We have no power. Then why would I even do anything? Why?
Yep, Beatrix. Yeah, no. Well, that's part of why I'm trying to do what I'm doing. But again, we're talking about a future that AI has taken over. So in that future,
and
how are we supposed to keep them from getting that vote at that point in time? Go ahead, Leia. You were just about to pop in.
Yeah, sorry. And also, I just want to say, I know I'm always the one to put tinfoil hat on, even though I try to be reasonable. I do think it's a bit, I don't know if it's like disingenuous or if it's like optimistic to have the opinion basically that we are complete masters of our destiny, as far as like there's absolutely nothing going on behind the scenes that others have control over, that it's completely democratic voting, well, almost completely democratic, and that all of our votes are counted. That's the way people are elected 100% of the time. There is no corruption, etc. I mean, I just don't feel like that's. I'm not saying it doesn't matter at all, but
of course
like
there is
I think that's what
corruption.
Tater
But who is
means.
Of course there is corruption, but who is the person? Who is the people doing the corruption?
Right, but here's the thing. So we have these people that run on a campaign platform, right? And they make all these promises, right? So then we vote them in if our elections are even, real. And then once they get in, they're doing all closed door type of things. They're not telling the people what's going on. They're not representing the people anymore. They're representing
Probably true. More
special
salary.
interests, corporate interest, financial interest, manufacturing, you name it. But they're not representing the so-called people that voted them in to office. Because if that was the case, back in the 90s when they were sitting there, basically deindustrializing the country. Well, in order for them to do that in this country, that had to be done by our government. Because we had protections, we had international trade, we had all these laws that were in place that protected the workers and the industry in this country, and all that was eliminated. And what do we have?
Okay, who is the
you missed it, Crusader?
Interest?
Oh man, that was a good debate.
The
You'll have to watch it.
Interest that's left.
Yeah.
There's a couple of versions out there.
Whose interest is the manufacturing interest?
That's just it.
Is there like some kind of demon that is the one that has the interest over manufacturing, and they're the ones running it behind the scenes? Is this some reptilians that want to have more, some kind of more, in manufacturing the country? Who exactly has this interest when it comes to manufacturing?
Well, I'll tell you who it is. It's the industrialists themselves. You got to understand, right?
Wait. Before we move forward, the industrialists themselves are what?
A group of people.
For real though, Bert.
From all walks of life.
Okay, perfect. So you're saying it's not the people
who
have this kind of interest, but at the same time, it's people who have those interests, and they're being politically active and doing what needs to be done in accordance to their interests.
I might do a review on it if you catch it. I don't know. We'll see.
That's true.
I'm sure everybody's tired of it.
Remember that their mission statement and basically their ethical responsibility to those that they supposedly service is not there. They're morally bankrupt. They have basically a compromised compass as far as their ethics go. Right? So where's that arrow pointing? It ain't pointing towards us. It's pointing towards themselves. Their self-interest has superseded the need of the people. The whole
They are
idea.
people.
Better yet, hold on. Better yet.
They are
So
people.
corporations. Oh well, no. Let's look at this for a second. So corporations were invented in order to serve the greater population, right?
No,
so
they were
like
invented. You have a misunderstanding what a corporation is. A corporation was
Oh, really?
invented to make.
Yeah.
Of course, they were
ahead.
invented so that the people could create goods and services, so that they
Fair
could
enough.
make
I'll probably
money. So
I'll
that they
probably
could
cover it then.
sustain
I
their
don't know.
family.
If anybody has a problem
that
with
was
it,
what
tell
they were
me.
invented for.
Otherwise,
That
I'm
is the
covering it because it was
invention of a
wild.
corporation.
No.
Who do you think invent a corporation? The government?
No, actually,
Well,
Which
the
one?
actually, you're
businessmen
kind
that
So
of
were-
this is Emmett.
you're
You
kind of
should
both
know
wrong.
Emmett.
Corporations
And this is
themselves
General
were
Smedley.
created
He's
to
a new guy.
protect private
Newer.
like property
Been around a
and
couple
private
weeks.
interest,
Sorry,
and
Alpha.
kind of like an LLC. They're supposed to protect the people that work at a company from like being sued personally and give people tax breaks and all these types of things. Companies were created to do that.
Well, I was
What you're
looking at
mentioning,
the
Emmett.
origins
Why?
of
Why
some of the
exactly
first.
are they doing? Okay,
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Corporation is just. We're talking about
I'm
the
lost.
generality. Okay, a corporation, it can be a legal term that you have.
Appreciate you,
that
Vosh.
can have protections over the assets. But the idea of the corporation in and of itself is to, that it's people get together to create products or services that they can sell to people, so that they can get.
Hey,
profits, and they
AVG,
can
good
get,
to see you. I
they
appreciate
can
you
get the
coming in.
stuff they need
Yeah, I'll
to
probably
leave.
be
Probably
reviewing
more than
that
they
for
need
you.
to leave too.
Give you some more views, maybe.
But that's the reason why.
You're welcome to
I'm
join.
here to crash the panel.
Welcome in, Everest.
Hey.
Good to
No,
see you.
Right.
This is
I have
this
no
is the
idea.
thing that I'm.
I have no
wait a
idea what
second.
we're
This
talking
is
about.
corporations.
Neither do we.
This is in your
Neither do we.
wheelhouse. So the P and not P is you're saying this is not working for that this interest is not working for people.
Hi, I'm Everest.
But at
I was
same
thinking the
time-
same thing, Farmer
But at
Cat.
the same time, you have people who are put in front their their interest, and they're being politically active to get said interest. So is it working for people and not working for people at the same time?
The biggest thing is the corporations aren't working for the people. They're working for the bottom line, which is the money. When money
And who
comes
gives
in.
you- No, they work for the people because they have to sell products or services.
Sure,
to the
sure,
general
sure.
population.
Have you-
Otherwise, they won't be able to sustain themselves.
Have you ever heard of the World
Except,
Economic Forum?
obviously- Yeah, of course I have heard.
Have you ever had a chance to vote for them into power? Because I haven't.
Have I put a chance? No, they are.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, they're
put
unvoted.
forth
So
by-
we don't have any say in
Yeah.
what the World Economic Forum is telling us to do. Have you looked
we don't
into
have
what
to
they're?
listen to them.
Why do we have to listen to them?
I don't have to listen to them. We don't. We
Oh,
can
okay.
get the fuck away from them.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
If the American population says, and I'm gonna vote for the people who are not gonna get in line with the World Economic Forum, I'm gonna tell them to fuck off. What do you think is gonna happen to the World Economic Forum? They're gonna be like, "Oh no, we're gonna take our army and we're gonna conquer you, United States." No, of course not. They're gonna fuck off. That's exactly what's gonna happen to them. They're gonna get the fuck off.
If I could take just one thing, Tater, because that's a great point.
Go ahead, Leia.
The WEF and like World Health Organization, all these like kind of shady three-letter entities that are like worldwide, and somehow all of these countries that never get along, surrounding anything else, suddenly can come on board for these types of things.
Yep.
Are automatically suspect. They are unpoliced, right? Like Tater brought up, not kind of voted into power. Nobody agreed upon this within the citizenry of any of these countries. It's just these, and it's not even political leaders that are cooperating. It's like the big corporations, the top 500 companies or Fortune 500 companies, right? Yeah. And so naturally you're sus of their motivations, right? And it's kind of like in politics. Like I truly don't believe you can be completely moral, good, innocent agent like in politics above a certain level. Fair. Like I truly believe there are powers at play, and you can think I'm tinfoil hat all you want, that will eventually corrupt you no matter what they have to do, because it is
that was such a wild
their
debate.
interest to
I'm looking forward to reviewing
and if
it.
that's the case, like we're not talking about any corporation, right? We're talking about the top corporations in this conversation. Like, the richest corporation.
And
question, why does it have to be the corporation, not just rich people at the top that want to morally corrupt people?
Yeah,
But hold on, but why do you need to point at the corporation and not at the person? Because like you can say that like McDonald's as a whole, but not like the millions of people that make up the McDonald's employees are wanting to lay waste. You're looking at just like Kroc at the top, right? So you got to look at the
that's what I said earlier. That's what I was saying before you came on. When Emmett asked who makes up a corporation, I'm like, just people. And that's really the people we're concerned about, is those top 1, 2, 3 people.
I would say they don't make up the corporation, right? I would say that what makes up the corporation is everything that's invested into the corporation, right? If it's a corporation at that point, right? If you're talking about massive corporations, you can say Bill Gates owns Microsoft, but he hasn't ran Microsoft
Trey,
in over 20 years.
Good to see
you.
Right?
Let's just be real. Right, he hasn't done a single thing about Microsoft.
But what does he use Microsoft money to do?
Right,
when he's preaching about.
But that's not the corporation. He hasn't ran.
Good to see you too, man. Good to see you too.
Talking,
so you can't,
right, but the corporation is the tool that they make the money with.
It doesn't matter. Okay, it's good. Well, there's the guy that made the toaster, and his generational family, just so we're clear, is now still a billionaire because everybody still buys toasters. And yet, he's using his money.
Fair enough,
his name is CC. He lives in Lake Washington with an all-glass house who just does pilots all day, and he's out there to crop dust everybody.
It's not that contentious.
None of us are really.
I need some kind of clippable.
None of us are disagreeing with you, Albert. Look,
let me. It feels like you're pointing at the corporation instead of just the person in general.
No, the whole reason the corporations were even brought up at all was because we were originally talking about government and how certain government players, politicians, get into bed with special interest groups and lobbyists who represent these corporations, and even, like you mentioned, people, right?
Yeah, people.
That's why they got brought up.
Active, and they're trying to.
But I think the corporation is also represented by an ethos, and not just the person. Right now, look for example, right? Like look at for an example, Chick-fil-A. Right, there's a certain stigma of the people that what they're supposed to wear, how they're supposed to act, how they're supposed to. So it doesn't. There's also not just the people, but the framework, or what we'll call the foundation of the company in itself. And I don't think a lot of companies in themselves, foundationally to the core, are evil. I think they're actually foundationally good.
We never argued a company was evil. Like I said, you're arguing kind of against a ghost.
And the same thing, a corporation, same way.
Well, no. Okay, originally, we were talking about the people at the very top. That was the whole thing. And we are kind of saying corporation euphemistically to mean the rich people that own and or started and or whatever at the very top of said corporation. It's really what we mean.
Funny.
The people with the money.
I think
we're
try to get some memes out of it for you, I guess. We'll try.
What you guys don't know up there, I think that you guys don't see that there's a lot of upfighting up there too. There's a lot of fighting up there, and you guys just don't see it because you guys are like. So, but it's not the corporate. It's like these are like one person wants to do it, but you can't blame like the company that feeds them the money or
nobody's blaming the company.
That's fair enough.
Nobody's doing that. Literally,
single person.
So this is what I gotta say when it comes to this. We were talking about people, and I'm bringing up the corporations because the corporations are people. If they're lobbying the government, they're working
exactly, Beatrix. That's what I'm trying to get across.
People in power so that they are politically active and they get whatever they want when it comes to this.
And it's not with the Bill and Gates. Well, I guess might be Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that does it, but
not necessarily the moral agents. Economics are not moral. Economics are transactions. When it comes to the moral agents, they are the people. Okay, but
yeah, I like to laugh. What this channel's all about. Well,
ethos.
These are not so funny.
What is the thing that you actually want as a nation, okay, as a nationwide, so that you can say what is the good and what is the bad. But that has nothing to do with either the corporation or the people supposedly in power. It has to do with the ethics of the nation itself.
Sure. When I was talking about moral agents, I was talking about politicians specifically, because that's where we had started on this, if you remember. I was saying I don't believe past a certain level of politics that you can be a completely free and moral agent. I don't believe that's like the general was talking about a few minutes ago. When people run, they make all these campaign promises, and then something changes.
Just don't wear that
mysteriously and
bracelet.
nothing gets done. I don't think all the time it's just because they're all full of shit. Maybe a lot of them even, right? But I think a lot of the time that has to do with corruption because they plan to do this and then they get in there and they're like, oh wow, I didn't know about all this stuff and all these roadblocks that were going to come up, and oh, maybe somebody has blackmailed my family. I don't know how it happens, right? But I do think that people are.
I think you need to
Do what?
understand what kind of things can be done. For example, when it comes to mass deportations, when with Donald Trump, the way that he's doing it is the way that he can do it. There are a lot of things that would have to go to Congress if he wants to do something higher, and that
I'm
is
not even talking
dependent
about
upon he
president.
himself. Well, it is all
Right.
you need to understand the system you're in. It's encompassing.
Oh,
This is what I
I
was talking about,
understand
being
this.
politically
Trust
active.
me.
If this all started because you're saying there is these people at the top that are like gods.
I didn't
They
say
decide
that.
for you.
That better be my
The
panel.
general idea was
Just
that
kidding.
they are like gods that decide for you. Everything
No,
that
I
you
never
have has
agreed to
already
that
been
premise.
decided.
Never.
I'm
You're
talking about
making a whole
the
straw
meta
man.
conversation. Not talking about you. I'm talking about the conversation. Okay, it was said
I don't even think
that
that's what he said. To be honest,
he
he
said
basically
that.
said what I said in different words. He can correct me
No,
if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure what I just said
he
is what
said
he was
that
getting at.
AI we're gonna take over. There's nothing we can do about it. It has been decided already by the people in power at the top, and they were going. And there was even your vote mean absolutely nothing because last time you voted and you lost. Because, we didn't convince
Okay, well,
enough
if he
power.
said that, he could
Enough
argue
people.
that.
That means
I didn't hear
there's
that.
nothing you can do about it, and that's what I ask. Why should we do anything when it come? If we already defeated before we even do anything, why should we do anything at all?
Heaven Max,
speak to that.
Hold on.
Well,
Heaven Max, have you been trying to come in? Have you been trying to come in?
Oh no, I've just been having fun.
Okay. I just saw something out of the corner of my eye, so I just want to make sure. Was there anybody that's been kind of waiting for a chance to get the floor since I have the floor? Okay.
I mean, it just seems like a very obvious, you guys are getting really into the meta on a conversation that's like, guns don't kill people, people kill people, right? Like, we're just pointing at different people in different places. I think we're all on the same page. It's just...
Well, yeah. It's like, yeah, there's a gun, and I can't do anything because the gun killed the people. It's like, well, did that actually happen? Or there's a gun behind, or there's a person behind it that's actually responsible. And there's
just
the
with
point.
corporations,
The
politicians,
system,
you look at any level. I mean, think about schools, right? You have your school districts, but even your local elementary teacher can mess with your kids and stuff. So at any
the
level,
political
people can do
system,
anything.
Yeah, the political system is the smoking gun and the smoking thing, and the people behind it are the people responsible, and we can actually have a say in who is behind them and say, hey, we're gonna be using this thing for good or bad or whatever. But the ethos of the nation is what you guys are actually talking about. It's not that we can't do anything about. There are things that can be done, actual things that can be done.
Like what?
Like being politically active, like voting, like understanding what is the people that are in your local elections, voting for the right people in your local elections, trying to actually go into the general elections and I'm doing what is right, talking to people around you.
So when Trump said that he was going to deport all illegals, that hasn't happened yet. There's a lot of Republicans that are starting to wonder if they voted wrong. How do we know we're voting for the right person when they lie through their teeth?
I will back on that. About 30% of our nursing care and healthcare workers are actual immigrants and people from like the Philippines and stuff like that, right? Like a lot of immigrants, healthcare workers,
not
even
illegal
in the
immigrants.
services.
Not illegals, though, right?
Well, he was talking about revoking H-1Bs, and that falls on.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I apologize.
Yeah, that's fine. We can get rid of them too. It doesn't matter. The point is, how do you know you voted for the right guy? Okay, fine. Very, very simple. You have two options. This is probably not the best one. Okay, there's a lot of people. Are still illegally here, and they're still doing whatever what needs to be done. The difference about doing this with Trump and doing this with Biden, for example, is that in the Biden era, there were 20 million of them. They were coming here. They were getting a bunch of benefits. They were getting social security numbers. They were already getting benefits. They were already being part of of your supposed economic system. while in reality not being part of it because they were just getting out of it. They were getting food stamps, they were getting a bunch of shit. So which one do you prefer? Because those are your two options when it comes to this. And then you can actually start influencing your local politics and your local elections, and then, you know, go outside and talk about it so that you can influence from the local to the macro.
So again, Trump seems to be doing a lot of things that everybody was assuming he wasn't going to do. We all voted for him, and now he's doing things that we're not necessarily cool with. I mean, we're all right with it because he's better than a Democrat. But when's the next Republican going to get in and say, yeah, I'm better than a Democrat. I'm just going to put you all under the thumb, though. Still better than a Democrat.
Well, it's, you know what, if that is your idea and there's no way forward and you just want to go ahead and accelerate the country to the destruction of it, go ahead. Because
that's not what I'm
there's
doing.
Nothing you can do about it.
But again, Klaus Schwab wasn't voted into power. Klaus Schwab just started to invite all of these world leaders into a closed room in Davos, Switzerland. We never knew about it until like 15 years ago. And this has been going on for 30-something years.
It was in a sense voted into power because it demonstrated the will of the people and what they wanted to do. So what we see, the ethos was we're going to create this,
but it affects us all.
Universalism that is based on communism. Okay, and we're going to be doing these to the same ways that we've known
COVID
forever.
showed a lot.
Book of Marx, it's pretty much a
stated, whatever.
If you read all of the literature on communism, it's pretty much stated what they want to do, where they want to move forward, what is it that they want to get to. And then it's like, oh my god, I didn't know it. Of course we knew. Of course we knew that they were trying to get all this bullshit.
Okay, let me I'm gonna chime in here. So Charles Schwab himself had said that he created young leaders that he could insert and infiltrate every government that was of any consequence on the planet, right? And has been influencing governments, world leaders, for decades.
Yeah.
And they've been paying huge amounts of money to go to Davos, to these meetings that Charles put together. Justin Trudeau, well, let me finish. Justin Trudeau
5 times,
was
holy
one of the names that he threw out there.
So
and look
sorry
what
to hear
Justin
that.
Trudeau did to Canada during his tenure, right? And
I mean, who put him in? The people of?
Yeah, look, man, let me finish before you step all over me again.
So he wasn't voted in. He was just there, like he got magically put there by some kind of blue jay or reptilian.
Yeah, let me help you out with that. Yeah. Let's talk about the right people that we're voting on. By the way, guess what?
I don't think they're the right people.
They're put there.
I think that
let each other talk.
No, I'm using your language.
Dude, politics is
stop stepping on me, man. Let me finish my thought.
Yeah.
Thank you. The people we're voting for are determined for us.
But there's
money it takes.
And I'm gonna go ahead and just go away. I'm done too, because there's nothing to do. If we're just going to go ahead and be decided upon us and we have nothing to do, I give up, okay? But if you give up, don't be fucking, don't be surprised when they come out and do all this bullshit that they've been doing for the last 30 years and be like, oh well, there's nothing I can do anyway, okay? Because that's what's going to happen. That's the end result of that. If you think you have absolutely nothing to do that you can do, then, well, enjoy your fucking utopia. Thank you for having me on.
Is Smedley Butler, just one point of clarification. It's Klaus Schwab, not Charles Schwab. That's Charles Schwab is an investment company.
Yeah,
Charles Schwab.
I didn't have my teeth in.
It's funny. Yeah, Klaus Schwab is concerning. There's a lot of things that are concerning about that gentleman. But anyway, if Emmett's still watching, I apologize, Emmett. I'm not sure exactly why that went that way. But basically, again, like, we need to be starting to think about what else we can be doing other than voting. I think it was Bert in the chat said, "Why is voting our only state of recourse?" Right? We need to be starting to do something different. I don't know exactly what, That's why I'm here online to find an answer. Because I'm not, I'm a potato. I'm looking for the brilliance of the internet. But the thing is we need to get together again, unify, because together we stand, divided we will always fall. But we need to be starting to focus on what we can be doing again. Go ahead, Bandit.
We already have different different options. It's not just one Tuesday in November we go and vote. You can.
Well, that's what Tater was asking in it for.
Protest.
Right. Thanks, Leia.
What was it?
Repeat what you said, Leia.
Sorry, I thought you were pausing. I wasn't trying to interrupt. I was just saying that's what he was asking. Tater was asking in it for a few moments ago. He's like, well, you say we can change this. Like, you keep telling us we can do something about it. What can we do? And
that's so sad.
We don't all vote already. And I think Tater's asking for, like, I don't say better solutions. Voting's amazing, and God bless the USA.
Yeah, Mr.
But
Sam.
other solutions, like that's the type of thing Tater was asking for from him.
Well, to answer the question, there's a bunch of stuff that we as Republicans don't do that the Democrats do. I'm not supporting everything that the Democrats do. I mean, like they go out and riot, but there is peaceful protest.
Seriously,
there
though,
is organizing
such crazy time
within like NGOs. I mean, as much as we all hate NGOs, they can be used to push what we want in government. Just because we see them as evil doesn't mean they're an ineffective tool. We probably hate them more because they are an effective tool.
I am curious, what NGO is beneficial to anyone?
Well, I don't know off the top of my head, but it's one of those things that...
I mean, don't churches fall into NGOs?
I guess that would be fair, yeah.
Stopping us from...
It was an honest question. I appreciate it, Heaven Max. But that's just it.
Yeah, no worries. I blanked on it too.
Yeah. So the thing is NGOs are funded by people like George Soros that have been behind the scenes. Yet again, someone we did not vote for. We did not okay to be in power like he is, but yet he is behind the scenes puppeteering the NGOs because his money funds those NGOs. At which time, then he gets to tell them what they do, what they don't do. So where do we have any control over that? Now, like Heaven Max did point out, and I appreciate it again, the churches are NGOs and they are a good form of an NGO. And I do have to remember that. But it goes back to the fact that we need to be aware of what we can be doing, and pushing back with NGOs is a good point. So I appreciate that information for sure. Welcome back, Homestead. I appreciate you joining the back end of the panel. And then Vosh Schmidt, thank you very much for being here, buddy. Was there anything you had any points to say that since you're the newest on the panel?
I mean, I had some input on the first topic, but
yeah, Dave, I agree. That's the thing is I was trying to keep him.
We may not want to tread there again, it seems. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Happy to move on.
That's fair. I don't mind the heat. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm literally trying to find answers, right? Like Heaven Mac, I said, that's a good, like I'm a potato. That's why I'm having these conversations, right? But if we don't start pushing back on this stuff soon, we are not going to have our freedom anymore. And I need freedom. Give me liberty or give me death. I am tired of it, guys. The tree of liberty is due for a watering, right? So I don't know exactly what.
I don't trust the military or even my local governments to protect what I think is virtuous or true or the right thing to do. And so I have a line in the sand, and I think most men with children or men.
Hey, Emmett, thank you very much for the engagement, buddy. I appreciate you being on the panel. I really do, man.
This line.
It was a good talk. I really do enjoy it.
But I feel like you got to directly affect my children or something before I reach that point, because I don't trust, like, if I did die fighting something, is someone going to pick up the sword? Probably not these days,
Sword.
Yeah, and I also think there's this kind of dichotomy that happens in these conversations where it's like, either the super ultra patriotic, I'll just leave it there. Not that we're not all super ultra patriotic, optimistic. That's the word I used earlier. Optimistic person who believes it's really as simple as you go to the ballot box, you cast your vote, and the way that the electoral college works, which is a whole other conversation, it does its thing, and then whoever is supposed to be in charge is in charge, and that's it. And it's that simple. And then there are people who see things with their own eyes and hear things with their own ears and cannot be convinced that they're crazy, even though they would like to do that to us. And we're just putting two and two together. We're not saying this automatically means everybody's a reptilian or the juice boxes, like the Yoo-Hoos my kids drink, those juices, are in charge of everything, right? It doesn't always have to go to the extreme, but just to notice something that is just true.
Kind of how I am.
We were talking about the WEF, Tater and I, these are all facts that happen. This is historical fact. It's not something you can argue with. Right. And so it's like, I jokingly talk about like my tinfoil hat, but it's not conspiratorial to notice things and to connect the dots, and it's also not terrible to be optimistic about the government and its happenings. But I think that's where a lot of the clash comes in and where things can get heated, because we are all passionate about what we think and believe. And so basically our beliefs are kind of at war with each other, because either it's you trust what's happening or you don't,
That's why they call it the noticing.
The noticing, right? Yeah. But
followed by the happening.
I was trying to quietly say that in the chat, I wasn't going to say that loud.
Right. But yeah, so like I said, I didn't realize it was going to get contentious with this stuff. I honestly thought we were all going to agree, basically, like we always do. And it would be, trying to find an altar or somebody to come on and be able to fight back against me. But I do appreciate the feedback, the pushback. Again, that's the whole point of these conversations. Was there anything else on that topic? We can move off that topic onto something else for right now.
I just want to know, what are you doing about all this, Potato, right? What are you doing?
What are you personally taking responsibility for?
Yeah,
there's a lot, to be completely honest, but we won't get into that right now.
Right.
No,
no, I get it though. But yeah, so
aside from being funny,
yes,
I do have kind of a odd opinion on at least the AI takeover thing. Is like, yeah, these corporations are producing the AI tools, but we as the consumers are ones that are going to be using them. So we have to think of new ways and industrious ways.
Thank you again, Emmett. I do appreciate you, man.
Yes, we're the
have a
ones
good night, brother.
them. Yeah, so we've got to put the good stuff out there for them to train on. For one, so we need to be better people, so that AI is better. But also, we need to use these tools responsibly and come up with new ways of producing things with these tools that we've been given. So, yeah, our toil might look different, but it'll still be toil. Like, it's kind of like what the Industrial Revolution or even Agricultural Revolution did. It just freed us up to do other things. So, the more problems that we solve here on Earth with production and resources, we can start getting out into outer space. If you believe in that kind of thing. I know we've got some flat earthers in the sphere here. Don't understand that, but yeah, we need to get out in space. We need to be fruitful and multiply, not just here on Earth, but all over God's creation.
I'm sorry, that even sounds like an innuendo.
Yeah.
Anyway, anybody else have anything on that? No? All right. So we can get back onto a different topic here. Let me see what we got. And get back up here since you guys have been blowing up the chat. All right. So if we discovered life on another planet, would religion become stronger or weaker by that discovery? Let's see. Would humanity be better off if nobody could lie? Could perfectly logical society ever be truly moral? And what's more dangerous, a population that can think critically or a population that thinks or a population that thinks critically but trusts nobody. Is there anybody that would like to start somewhere particular? Fair enough. Give you a second to think.
I'm sorry, that last one is just like a contradiction, right? Like, critical thinking means you can't trust anybody. That's the opposite of what all my critical thinking says. That is like a method of survival, right? Like, you have to trust someone.
Do you, though?
I mean, do you know anyone that's gone from birth to death all by themselves?
How would I know them if they go by themselves?
As a tree falls in the forest, oh no.
Right? I mean, I sorry, but I just had to.
It's a fair point, though. Like, we wouldn't know.
Right.
But
right.
because we don't know what we don't know, then we do know that you do need people.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I don't know.
You're muted, Homestead. If you had something to say, I'd love to hear it. You're muted, though. Fair enough. I'll just read your lips. All right. Anyway, welcome to Mr. B. Appreciate the engagement and being on the panel. Is there anything that you wanted to say since you're the newest one on the panel?
I can't never trust anyone. I am a disabled person with a seizure disorder. I have to trust random people all the time if I ever have a seizure in public.
That's fair.
There's never a time where I can't be like, I can't trust nobody. So
fair.
My critical thinking tells me who I can and can't trust all the time.
Right.
Well, it can be a one-way street too, right? Like, I mean, you could say that Elon Musk doesn't trust anybody, but at the same rate, you know, like, there's a lot of employees that trust him to pay him every week, right? Or whatever. So, like, even if somebody doesn't trust anyone, you can still trust them. So trust is weird like that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Crusader. I appreciate you, man. But yeah, that's just it. Is you know, so there's a lot of people that have to trust, right? But there's a lot of people that are sitting in their basement, keyboard warriors, whatever you want to call them, that are just there to watch the world burn. Do they trust anyone? Would we say that they trust anyone if they're willing to let the world burn?
They still have to trust who is bringing them food, though. While they're being a keyboard warrior, they're still waiting on their DoorDash, right?
That's touche.
Their mom.
Or their mom to bring down the sandwich.
I want dino nuggies.
That's funny. Mr. Samson, I think he's talking about your
question, though.
Go ahead, Bosh. What do you got?
Like, so for all of those people that want to homestead, no pun intended, and like get away from society, would you say that they're not trusting of society or people in general?
Yeah, I don't trust people. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, as a rule, I don't trust people, but I tend to trust people over too short a time. That's how I get into trouble.
That's fair. Yeah, like Pharmacat says, I only trust blind people.
Only blind people are virtuous.
Right?
I believe it was Tommy Lee Jones's K that said, a person is trustworthy. People are maniacs that freak out whenever anything goes wrong.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep. So, like I said, I figured we'd all agree for the most part. I didn't expect it to get heated at all, but yeah, I figured we'd all agree on that one. Again, I don't trust anyone, but I have to trust people. It's how life works, right? Especially now that I'm getting online and I'm going to be expecting my community to help support this nation, this Tater Nation, this channel that I'm building, right? So with that being said, I know that there hasn't been very much grifting going on, but I do need to start doing that a little bit more often, guys. If you're in the chat and you like to see what you're seeing, I do have a Cash App, Venmo, Patreon, all the routes to pay me, right? That stupid bullshit. But I do need to start doing that more often because I would like to stay around. And this is becoming an amazing community that I want to keep building on. So with that being said, I'll shut up. Please like, subscribe, and share. And with that, we'll get back to the stream. Anybody have anything that they'd like to say?
I don't like number 5. Could a perfectly logical society ever be truly moral? I kind of have a tendency to think that being logical is being virtuous, is being moral. And anybody disagree?
Right.
No, I think a lot of people don't see it, but if you dug down in it, they would agree with you in the end. You know, like you may go, "Oh, why is it logical to jump in front of the train?" And it's like, "Oh, well, yeah, I may die, but if I save that family of car, right, that family in the car down the road, then
Oh, hey,
it's worth
BG,
it."
that was good. That was pretty
Sometimes
good.
the illogical thing is still logical.
Thank you, B. Appreciate you
but
dropping
at the
those in
same
the
time,
chat.
The logical thing in certain situations would be to, I don't know, say there's a situation where
Seriously,
you would need
Beatrix.
to save either your child or some adult. As the logical thing would be to save whoever is most likely to be saved. So if your child is more or is less likely to be saved, are you still going to try and save your child over the other person that's easier to save?
Well, now,
Yes.
now we might have to weigh the outcome of the child and the outcome of the adult. What if we have a neurosurgeon who is bound to cure brain cancer against a child with leukemia who will die in a month?
Good point. Is it your child, though? That's the question.
It's someone's child.
Well, it's somebody's child, but specifically, is it your own child?
No, I believe we have a higher duty to our, you know, like we are the patriarch of our family. Then you've got your patriarch of your local church, and it goes outwards and outwards. And within each bubble, you have certain duties and responsibilities. And I think that your child is in that innermost, your most dutiful obligation kind of group.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't care if my child was, you know, going for sure to die in like a week. I'm saving my child over anybody else.
Right. I mean, I will say that I came into a debate the other day with someone speaking about the Iran war, and I was saying about like, we cannot talk about just bombing civilians as if they're just ants and we're using a can of Raid or something like
Seriously,
that.
though.
These are individual people too. Like they were talking about like, let's blow up their dams, their water sources, their power grids. And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, let's say there was a school being built and there was a bomb being built inside the school. All the children in there, let's say there's thousands of kids. Do you A, drop a nuke on it, or B, send your kid in who's in the military or whatever and have boots on the ground? But, you know, obviously the equation. And I was like, yeah, I'd send my kid in. Like, as hard of a choice that is, I'm not just going to bomb an entire school of kids, right?
Kid? I might.
You guys are funny.
I don't know.
a
See,
trap.
I just feel like that's a math equation at that point. Even just if you said 1 to 2,000, and there's not even a guaranteed chance your kid dies, whereas where you press the button that drops the bomb, you're guaranteeing children will die. So, you know,
Right. But thinking about it from like a nation against nation, like actual war situation, and this is something I've not understood about modern warfare for a long time, is when you're fighting another nation, if you're at war, like originally war, that your intent was to completely eliminate the other nation. That means not just its government, not just its army, all of them. Because retribution is a thing. Somebody's going to come back and try to get retribution. So you just completely eliminate the problem and you don't have to worry about retribution. I mean, I believe there's some Old Testament stories about this as well.
yeah, there's a give and take with it, though, right? Like, how many millions of people are you willing to let die just to say we won? You know, at what point do the people fighting terrorism become
are we not
terrorists,
men?
right?
It's
Like, when
good
we
to
start
see
taking out
ya.
their power grids,
I know
their
I've
water
seen you
sources,
around.
and
I think this is
affecting
the
all
first
these
time you're seeing me,
civilians,
though.
we're no better than them morally.
Good to see you.
What if the civilians of that nation are calling to be bombed?
Hope to keep you around.
What if they're calling for help?
What if they literally are calling to be bombed?
Yeah, but
Because
I've seen
Iranians
enough.
right now are. They're saying bomb our nation so that our government will collapse so that you can install a new one. They're calling for it.
Well, they're not asking you to kill them, though. They're asking you to take out their government so they can usurp it, right?
I think
Like if we
they
take out
understand
all
the
their ability for
consequence.
electricity, we shut down all their hospitals, we take out all of their fuel, we shut off all their water. I mean, we're just terrorists at that point.
Fair
But I
enough.
think it's
Fair enough.
dishonest to
I'll
think
shut
that
up
them
then.
calling to
Thank you very
be
much for the engagement, man.
is them not calling for, in fact, themselves to also be bombed. They understand the consequences of what they're asking for.
I mean, I just
It's
feel
dishonest
like
to think otherwise.
Yeah, Crusader, you're gonna have to watch the review I'm gonna do. Apparently,
to you. I've seen enough.
Don't
videos
watch
where
it
they're
until I
calling for
review
help,
it.
right? And so there's a lot. Like, how many people does it take asking for it? Like, how many people have you seen asking to be bombed, thinking, "Hey, blow me up"? Like, and a civilian, right? Like children and women. How many are calling out for that?
I mean, there are videos of people doing it, but again, like you said, there are videos of them asking for help as well. It's a hard line to draw.
Well, we're told that
here-
it's okay to kill, but it's not okay to murder, right? And one is justified and one's unjustified. We're justified in combat versus combat. If we are like, I mean, at a certain point, we all kind of went, okay, Israel needs to calm down with this whole Palestine thing, right? And we don't want to turn into that kind of optically as well. And I feel like there's a moral way to do it and an immoral way to do it, right? Like win at all costs, but like eventually they're just going to win and then give it back to the Iranians, who are then going to do the same exact thing over and over again. That's why we were, in these forever wars for the last 20 years, is because we're like, oh, we trust them to make their own government, and then they fuck up, right? Like,
right?
I don't know. We're like conquering nations and then leaving them be unconquered. Makes no sense.
That's so funny.
If we were actually
Crusader,
annexing
yeah,
them or
it
something,
is.
That might make it a little bit more.
He'll probably
sense,
say, but it is.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like these forever
that
wars is just killing children, soldiers, women, and it's like, okay,
I figured he'd say
a third of the deaths are justified, but when you look at like, what was it, 4 million people that died in all of the Iraq, Afghanistan, all them wars, that's a lot of people.
Well, something that I'm thinking about here while we're talking about this is like, the saying, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. What if one man's oppressor is another man's protector and savior?
Yeah.
I mean, from a certain perspective, it could be moral. If we're going with subjective morality, I'm honestly, I'm not entirely sure where Christian ethics would land on that.
No, yeah, that's for someone with a better understanding of the intricacies of all because it's like, because from the Orthodox perspective, and I'm not being as a representative, but just from things that I understand, right, is like we're supposed to be able to kill people if they're combatants in war, but we're not supposed to have the death penalty for criminals, right? So like there's a fine line between when you can take a life and when you can't, because at one point it's like it's a necessity for the defense of the innocent.
Is that an Orthodox view?
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're all right.
That seems kind of odd to me, but I think
because you're
the
taking away
assumption
the
there
final
is
judgment.
that person.
Hey Mo, good to see you.
I think the thought
U.S.
behind
Empire
that might
now.
be is the
Take stuff and keep it.
Is part of your community.
Because F it, that's why.
And subject
good to see you, Mo.
your
If you don't know,
Christian
Mo
law
has
or
his own
whatever,
show too.
Supposedly,
Mo has his own show.
Whereas the foreigner is not necessarily subject to your morality or your laws. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
or did I just
you could say that,
word
but
vomit?
No, it makes sense. It's just I don't agree. Just because our community, even here, like what percentage would you say are actually church-going Christians, even outside the Orthodox? Right? If you say all Protestant, Catholic, I mean, it's like you're talking about like 5% of the nation at that point. It's such a small number of regularly.
Hey, Abe, good to see you, Mr. President.
Our community isn't even a community. Right
I appreciate the engagement.
Yeah.
If you don't know, Abe has his own show as well.
Penalty for a much broader spectrum of crimes than what currently is available, because that is like the best way to dissuade crime. Is like, hey, you fuck around, you find out. And then we
should put it on public television and do it every Sunday.
I'll pull up the Bible verse, but I mean, it says in the Bible, right? You can't take the final judgment from God, otherwise you'll reap the consequences.
It's funny because Saturday is actually the true Sabbath.
Ultimately, that's true, Tater. But are you really taking the final judgment? Because you're just ending their life, not their eternal. You're not condemning or trying to save their eternal soul. So is that the final judgment, really?
I'm only a base level inquirer that has grown up Southern Baptist, so very Protestant.
Same. I was Pentecostal, so yeah, I'm very new to the
similar
Orthodox
boat.
thing, so I could be very wrong.
Thank you for posting that, Dave.
Right.
Again, if you don't know, Mo has his own show.
Preaching from the Old Testament, which I know, New Covenant, but it was even after eye for an eye, it was if you take the life of an image bearer, you forfeit your life. So if you delete someone, you get the death penalty. That's how I understand it. But I'm also, like I said, brand new inquirer, so I could be very wrong.
So it's a nuanced. I just had to go to my local church's page, and they actually have a whole article on it. So I'll just kind of give you like the pros and cons real quick from the perspective. But the pros are Old Testament has dictation of death penalty. St. Paul approves of the state's use of capital punishment, and the Gospels do not directly condemn or abolish the practice. Now, in the New Testament, in John 8, Christ does oppose the death penalty. In Matthew 5,
I don't know anything about Orthodox, so I don't know.
We must exceed the righteousness of the Pharisees, right? So our understanding of the law needs to be higher than that of just worldly law. Just because it is the law doesn't make it acceptable. Killing someone takes away their opportunity to repent. Yeah, so, like if someone's in sin and you don't allow them the opportunity to repent, you are actually moving more children away from God than allowing to come to Him, right? So,
it's a good argument.
There is a point. Yeah, there's a couple points. That's a good point.
I mean,
I don't know if it's completely swayed, but it's some good points.
Well, it's like if someone comes into my house, right, and I shoot them, I can repent of that and I can forgive them, but obviously an action has happened, right? Like I can say, I forgive this person. I know they were just hungry trying to feed their family, and I repent for killing them. But at the same time, like if I knew someone stole from me and I went down, or like threatened my child and I went down, hunted them down, and took that final judgment.
I want to say all of them are married.
Didn't actually hurt my kid, and now I've gone.
I want to say
taken their ability to repent away. I do see.
Could be wrong though.
There's nuance in there, right? Like 6, 7.
But I definitely believe in self-defense.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Crusader. I wouldn't either. I don't know about much.
Something that kind of struck me though, and this is going to be this might be controversial. It's surprising from Leah, right? But I just had a thought while you were talking about how in I think you said Iran and Afghani wars, there was like 4 million lives lost. Did I hear you correctly when you said that? Something like that?
Along those lines.
Okay. The exact number isn't even all that. I just was thinking in my head because I know we have these discussions about the Palestine and Iraq, Afghanistan, and all these other places. Saudi Arabia.
That's what I'm saying, eh?
Iran, all these places that we put boots on the ground or we have some type of meddling in, and it's always good to have those discussions. We need to be socially conscious and conscious of what our government is doing, etc. But you said that, and maybe it's just because I'm me and this
clear.
is the topic I'm
That's what I'm trying to get for is
about.
More clear conversation.
My mind went right back to America and our babies, because in all those years, say it was 8 million, and it was a 12-year war.
It's 4.5 million in total. It's 940,000 civilians have died, right? There's 200,000.
That's good, Crusader.
In the Iraq War from 03 to 11.
Any religion is good.
2011 in the Syrian Civil War,
any
500,000.
Christ-centered religion is
Yemen,
good.
Libya, Afghanistan, right?
So we'll say 5 million. We'll say 5 million. We'll round up, right? And that was 3 different wars.
That's a trap.
But here's the thing, right? And that's terrible and tragic. Do not let me understate that. However, that's 5 years worth of misfortune in the United States. That's 5 years of American babies.
Mo.
The way we have it right now.
That's funny.
I know.
That's when my mind went. When you said that,
in the Middle East, when they still do abortions here in the States,
And this is what's crazy, right? This is absolutely insane, because don't get me wrong, I hear that number and it's still devastating. Just like thinking about anything from slavery to the Holocaust. All human life and human suffering is terrible and tragic. But it's like this America First mindset that everyone wants to talk about, but then be about something different, right? You're talking about all these deaths and these wars that really ultimately started because they don't know how to either fight for themselves or keep their own shit in this case being their own country, right? Or govern it. And I'm not trying to be harsh, but that's just really what it boils down to at the end of the day. Meanwhile, here, all these lives that are lost, you said out of that 5 million, it was 900,000 civilians. That's not even 1 year of innocent lives in America that we're losing every single year. Is that not insane?
I do believe the numbers have adjusted for this last year, but I do understand what you're saying, right? Absolutely.
Well, actually, they've been going up, which is really depressing because even though there's at least 12 pro-life states, now the pill, you can get to any state, including my state, which is one of the most pro-life states in the entire union. You can get the abortion pill sent absolutely anywhere in the U.S. And a lot of them send it for free.
Holy
yeah.
Didn't they
You want to talk
change
about
the
a Holocaust?
definition, though?
Right.
Like, because they were even saying like first and second terms didn't fall under that category for the statistics, right?
Oh, yeah. I think that's what's crazy, too. Yeah, they weren't counting a lot of them. They refused to count after, I think, 2020. I just found this out the other day. They refused to count any of the third trimester abortions. For the past 5 or 6 years, they've not counted at all. And I also learned the Guttmacher Institute just released like some of their last couple of years' yearly report or whatever, and Planned Parenthood did as well. But what's really interesting is in all these years that we've heard all these numbers, New Jersey, New York, California, and there's one other state, no 4 of those states, Hawaii, I think. None of them have ever reported to the Guttmacher Institute. They have not tracked, and they're some of the most liberal places. So logic would follow that they would have some of the highest numbers. I mean, New York had one of the first Planned Parenthoods. Them and California had one about the same time. So it's like, are these numbers really double? We don't know, you know? It's crazy. I'm not trying to change the whole. Sorry, I wasn't trying to derail. That's just where my mind went. When you was talking, I was like, but just imagine, you know, like I don't know. That's heartbreaking. Anyway, carry on.
You're good.
No, I completely agree.
Go ahead.
It's devastating. No, I was just agreeing with her that it is devastating. 1 million a year, plus or minus. I mean, however you want to say the contingency is there. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else on that?
So where were we?
I was going to say, if we can move it back to the prompt, could a perfectly logical society ever be truly moral? I think we were still on that, weren't we? Was there anybody that had anything on that? I mean, if we don't, that's fine. I don't care that the conversation meanders. I just want to make sure that we have, because like, for example, the video I just uploaded today, we talk about not owing anyone anything, and then the conversation just gets kind of cut off by meandering. We don't really ever get to a final point in the conversation. And I didn't realize
resolution.
Yeah, I didn't realize until I was clipping the video that that's how it went. So I just want to make sure that anybody that might have something to say, or I might trigger something that somebody has to say, that they can put it in before I move on to a different topic, kind of an idea. Okay. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I like I said, I want to move the conversations forward. And if we're just cutting them off and meandering to a different topic, it doesn't move the conversations forward. So I'm getting better about moderating, but have patience with me, guys. So
go, Tater.
What was that?
I said, you go, Tater.
Yeah. I'm a dictator. What can I say? So was there anybody that wanted something like to go somewhere with it? Was there anybody that had anything suggestion wise? Because we only have a few left.
You have to start with where everyone actually think their morals are, because nobody has the same definition. Their lines do this instead of just everyone has the same idea. So, like with Leia,
Thank you, Crusader.
Her debating the schmortion, like that's a great example of the morals. Like some people are okay with it, a lot of people aren't okay with it.
Yes, please.
So until we can get that fixed,
get YouTube to pay
you're
me,
never
not
going
you.
to get to the end of that discussion.
Right. Yeah, it's good. It's a good point to make. I don't think about it. I mean, that's a lot of the problem is nobody thinks about it. I have my morals. Right. They work for me because I adhere to a higher calling. Right. But that is a good point.
Right.
So.
But it's not us. It's not our crowd that's having this discussion.
Right. That's the thing is
I mean, some, but.
Right. But even again, we're talking to a greater audience here, not just us, but we want this to reach somebody and somebody to go, you know what, that actually makes sense when we're talking on these panels, right? So that's the
whole point, right?
Right, exactly. So I know that all of us have the same morals and where they come from, but is there anybody that wants to kind of go further into that?
I would like to go further into it, but I don't know if we necessarily can. I mean, maybe we could, because we all do share that commonality in morality.
Sure.
So let's just assume that the only viewpoint with a objective morality is what we mean when we say a moral society. Is there anything that says a completely logical society would not also be completely moral?
It's a fair
because God is logical, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Everything stems from logic and reason and facts. So there is that. More celery, formerly Marcelary, in the chat says, what about duty? It's an interesting point. What about duty?
She said duty.
Duty. I know, right? That's kind of why I said it. I'm not gonna. It's been a long day, guys. Give me a break. I have to laugh a little bit.
You gotta laugh or you'll cry. At least me.
Yeah.
But she brings up a good point, because we do talk a lot about that. We talk about tragedies and all this. I think the duties that we all have to society should be a bigger conversation, right? And I praise people like the Wilsons and like some of the other conservative creators in the space that are trying to bring that conversation forward, because I mean, admittedly, even if the ethos of like Christian ethics,
I'm gonna put that as my my name on Discord now,
type deal is already in our sphere, if you will. I don't think a lot of people were really having this conversation. Like, yeah, we know feminism is poisonous. It's ruined our society, certainly our women, for generations. But like, that's why. It's because it's completely taken away their sense of duty. They claim to want equality, but they really want special privileges, like the special privilege to delete their feet. I was going to say eat the fetus, and that sounded really insensitive. I'm sorry. Delete the fetus. And so, and then they don't want to have to do anything. This is what I was talking about earlier, Tater, when I'm like, I cracked myself up. Anyway. Right. And so they don't have to raise the family. They don't have to, submit to the man. They can be a work boss babe and delete their children and, never have to, like they get to vote, but they don't have to sign up for selective service. They don't want to do any of the womanly duties.
Right.
But they want not only equality with men, but actually special privileges.
Yeah, they want superiority.
Almost like they never.
Well, go ahead.
It's almost like they never maturely advance.
Yeah. Well, it's very childish mindset.
Or more celery says here, logic and duty set morality, and I kind of think that we can take duty out of there, because I think logic dictates duty as well.
True. Especially if we're saying logic comes from God, because he's a logical God.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but in my opinion, God, part of his nature is logic, right? And also a part of his nature is morality. So it all flows from the well of God, right? I don't think that one comes from the other, but they all come from him as an objective standard.
Right. So Mo in the chat, he says, wait, everyone on the panel is Christian. Who was the guy that said you can get morals from logic? Which I don't know if anybody said that. You said that, Vosh?
I would say that, because I think logic is part of God's ontology, and
yeah, I was going to say I don't know if you
derive all of our morals from God.
From God, yeah,
logic
from God, which is logical, but not necessarily logic itself. Yeah, I got what you were saying, and I think the panel did. I just wanted to make sure that we were clear for the chat and anybody that does see this later on, considering he asked that question. But yeah, sorry, I cut somebody off. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it's the same thing, right? Like, because it's all part of God's nature, you have to say that nothing can contradict, right? So everything that is logical has to have a basis in morality or not contradict morality, and vice versa. If it's something that's moral, it's inherently probably logical, right? Because
that's true, Cleaner.
Two parts of God's nature.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
P and not P in. We can't do that. That's kind of what I meant. But you might notice I have a tendency to prattle sometimes, so I was trying to be condensed. But
fair enough, Static. Fair enough, Leia. So
yeah, I see y'all giggling. I see you.
But yeah, I lost what I was about to say. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's my fault.
What is the topic that we're on? It's been a long day. I'm doing concrete today, so if anybody knows how concrete goes, it's not fun. Anyway,
I absolutely do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm having an all right day. Like, it was pretty wacky there for a minute, but I just picked up my beer to have a drink, and my watch went, "Hey, you've almost reached your activity level."
That's funny. Drinking beer will get you the activity. Anyway, welcome in, Joker.
Those last couple miles.
Right. I haven't said hi to you yet. Welcome in. I appreciate you joining the panel. Is there anything that you'd like to say while you got the floor?
Yeah, so it's actually Batman. I switched it up.
Yeah. The chat mainly.
So the question, my view is, I kind of agree with this, is that I don't think a perfectly logical society could be truly moral, only because logic and morality operate on different foundational principles.
Fair.
Logic is a formal system of valid interfaces that is a value neutral and does not inherently prescribe ethic or behavior, whereas morality involves judgments and what ought to be done instead of, subjective values, empathy, social contracts, rather than pure deduction kind of thing. So
yeah, exactly.
Two
more
completely different worlds.
Trying to reach more
really
people
hard
somehow.
To say, could you have one and both together in harmony?
I'm really glad it helped. It helped me too. It's been a good conversation.
I don't think it's possible. I don't know if there's any examples that come to my mind of it working. Per se, and
as always, I appreciate you, Barn.
In my college years, and this is purely to my personal experience, I knew a few guys in philosophy, and they were all about logic, all about that, and their morality basically went out the window. They were more indifferent to what goes on because logic was, well, what is the goal of the subject?
That's true, man.
Oh, okay. We're trying to get, if the subject is less people on Earth, more researches. Well, logically, we gotta kill. We gotta, do some things to some people.
Please like the stream, guys.
Happen, and we don't feel anything.
Yeah, just kidding. We're not kidding. We're not really mean like that.
It's not.
Do like
morality? It's about what's the best way to get to answer A.
No, that's consequentialism, right? I think that's opposing the Christian worldview. So you can't.
Oh no, I don't think it's Christian at all. No. I don't. Yeah, I don't think it's religious at all. I don't agree with it morally either. I'm just saying I think logic doesn't really stand on morals and can lead to more darker answers and outcomes.
Fair enough.
Than someone going off of
don't be a turnip. Like the stream, guys.
I was actually just going to say that's a really great point because none of us are kind of devil's advocating here. And so we're just seeing it from a Christian perspective, but a more secular person.
I'm going off of someone who doesn't have any of those views. This is just world as is. I think evolution is a thing. I believe that, this is that viewpoint basically is, well, what if I don't believe in Christianity, God, spirituality, any of that, and it's just nature and the earth that exists? Well, what's my mindset going to be? How do I keep resources? How do I, stuff like that,
I get what you're saying. I just feel like we should go back to shunning people that are foolish, right? Like if you say, well, morality is subjective, or I don't have to, go off of logic, then I think we just ignore these people. Why do we keep giving?
Shout out to the person who donated, Emily. It looks like.
I don't know.
Says,
we need to
I'm a dancing potato. Thank you very much for the dono.
Try and just try and go from true morality.
Olmsted takes her glasses off. That's funny. Another shout out, since I have the panel to myself now, and a shout out to the person who donated, Emily. Appreciate the dono. Very much appreciated. Anything that I can get, guys. Even a like, subscribe, and share is more than enough for me. The views are greatly appreciated. AVG, they're still going in on that blind pill. It's been a fun ride in the chat today, guys. Vashmid, I appreciate that. If there's anybody that's not liked the stream yet, please like the stream, guys. And Crusader looks like he's headed out. Fair enough, man. I appreciate the engagement. Good to see you. I'm glad you were able to catch the live. And if you guys don't know, Crusader does a lot of modding for other shows. If you want to drop some of those shows in the chat, Crusader, feel free. But yeah, we can get back to the panel for a little bit. Anybody have anything? Yeah, AVG says, I think the moral of the story there is echo chambers are dangerous and expose yourself to different worldviews and ideas within reason, like a Satanist or crazy blue hair stuff is essential. Yeah, I appreciate that engagement. We need to stay away from echo chambers. That's one of the biggest things about this channel, is the purpose of these discussions is to avoid the echo chamber and move the conversations forward, so that people in their basement, right, and they don't want to listen to the blood sports, they don't like that scene, will find some solace in people agreeing on something or something along those lines, right? I'm trying to give some hope to somebody somewhere. All right, so is there anything else that we want to talk about there?
Well, I know that you might have wanted to talk about the Carmelo thing at the end. I know you said you wanted to talk about it, not immediately.
Right.
But has everybody seen, I know we talked about some shit a minute ago, so I promise I don't want to dwell on it forever, but that couple who had the Downs diagnosis, and they were like...
You're cutting out. Still with me?
You know what I'm talking
about? You were cutting out. We only caught first little bit of it.
I was gonna say.
I thought that was me. Yeah,
I thought that was me too. Yeah,
I was going a bit schizo.
Oh my gosh!
You guys didn't hear me say you're cutting out?
No, all of Discord glitched for me.
Oh, I gotcha. That would explain a lot. That would explain a lot. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm glitching too. I wasn't paying attention to the screen. Anyway, restart your whole conversation, Leia. Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I was to start again. I was saying, or asking, have y'all seen about that couple who had? I think the baby was like 15 weeks. They were pregnant, and they were literally like vlogging about it the entire time.
I might actually need to make a song about that now.
Downs diagnosis. They did their genetic testing, and they did this whole video about how they were going to have a misfortune, and got this huge backlash.
I guess I don't
I've
know.
seen Jay Dyer covering it.
Oh yeah?
No. It was Cleave to Antiquity. I've seen Cleave covering it.
Yeah, Weird Al was great.
I was just kind of wondering what y'all's thoughts were on that, other than, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
so can you just give a quick synopsis of the situation? Because I haven't read or seen anything on this yet.
Thanks, Heaven. I was going to say the same thing.
False comment.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry, I thought you guys also had. So there are these creators.
I haven't said later to Mo.
Well, thank you. It's
Mo. Bye later, bud. You're not leaving.
Well, there's a lady.
It's Crusader saying bye.
I believe they're married, and the guy is like a really big.
It's been a long day, guys.
Millions of followers on YouTube and I don't know elsewhere, and they've been documenting this journey of their pregnancy. She was, if I'm not mistaken, 15 or 16 weeks along, and they did their genetic testing, and they, like I said, they've been blogging this whole time, so they came out with a video where they literally received their test results, and the man opened it up on his phone and was reading it. And of course, they're like, positive for the Down syndrome gene, and they, break down crying, and it's terrible. And the first thing he says is, well, we've had this conversation, and if we would, how do you phrase it? He didn't use the smortion word, but that was the point. Like, if we were going to have a smortion, if it were to come out like this, I wish I could remember his exact words. But it's, just poor pity me, basically, talking about this poor child that they're about to delete because, in their eyes, it's not perfect. And they got a huge backlash.
That's funny.
I was actually,
right.
This may be a little dark, but
I was use that.
Not happy, but relieved, maybe. Some kind of positive, fuzzy feeling that's not happy.
I understand, Beatrix. I don't know if we'll actually talk about it.
Because I feel like we are indeed moving the cultural needle. I feel like a few years ago, it would have been like, oh, you go, girl. You don't have to have that baby or whatever, like something sick like that. Maybe not quite that crazy. And they got huge backlash. They're saying they have death threats. They had to delete their channels, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, that was a pretty good summary.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
fucking wild.
Hit the nail on the head. I'm in the mob, right? I'm all for making them feel ashamed of it, removing them from platforms, making them, absolutely disgusting. But
let me tell you a little bit. I have my thing pulled up because I was going to do a video on it as well. It's a couple named Jesse Ridge. These are like known people. I'm not doxing them, just for the record. These are very well known people. It's Jesse Ridgway.
Yeah, I agree with that, Mr. Sam.
Nuggets. It's apparently his channel name. And Ashley Ridgway. So, Make Jugger Nuggets is fantastic. And,
I'm curious.
I do like that.
I'm curious, real quick, Leia. Sorry. AVG in the chat says there's a famous streamer and his wife who have gotten a lot of X heat for their decision to terminate their DS child. Is this the same story?
Yes, that's the word they use. Thank you, AVG. Legend.
Yes, yeah, right.
He was like, oh.
Imagine virtue signaling about that online. Fucking gross. Seriously, AVG,
really?
That is wild.
Really?
Yeah, so I've heard...
And they were like crying.
I've heard a very faint whisper in the wind about this. Yeah, that's disgusting. Jesus.
Yeah, you should see the video. I'll send you the video.
Might have to cover it.
Self-centered.
Might have to cover it.
So self-centered. I mean, they're literally like, we have been so... The woman, one of the first things she actually said is like, I was just so excited for this. Like, it's her that... Which, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have angel babies up in heaven. Right. So, like, I get a lot, but it's not a lot.
Hey, Farmer Cat, thank you very much for the engagement. I hope you have a good night.
What do you mean?
God bless you, okay? Thank you very much.
It made me crazy. Like,
yeah, that's wild.
Crazy.
I would like to ask...
How would you do that?
I would like to give a shout out to More Celery. She's asking for prayers. I would like to ask for them on her behalf to anybody on the chat. She's going through something right now, so... Anybody that's watching the chat will know. Girl. I'm not going to say it because it's not my place, but anybody that's watching the chat, I just want to ask for prayers for her. Yeah, AVG says, I'm sorry, More Celery. May God bless you and keep you during this time. You'll be in my prayers. I'm so sorry, More Celery. Anyway, back to more lighter conversation, right? Not to, set that aside or anything.
I was going to say,
but
that's one topic that gets me is kids, especially special needs.
Yeah, it gets me too. I don't have kids, but I have a lot of shit to give. I don't know exactly how to say it, but anyway, yeah, I had shit to give. Yeah, I give people a lot of shit. What can I say? I'm an asshole. I'm a dictator. Anyway, yeah, that's a wild story. I might have to cover that because that needs more eyes on it. Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, that got me triggered. So was there anything else that we wanted to talk about? I think we've actually moved through all of the prompts.
I know you'll probably be talking about it, but Reckless Ben. He's had that cease and desist. No more talkie.
Yeah, that poor guy. This is why. So what's what's funny about that, and I don't know how much anybody wants to hear about it because it's just been so prevalent, but basically it boils down to the fact that there wasn't nearly as much as $200,000 worth of value, and the whole thing gets super mucky when you actually dive into it. So Reckless Ben has been given a actual lawsuit serving papers that he's being sued for what, $1.3 million, him and Brian, I think, the one that was selling the products. And if you really dive into the videos, it doesn't shed very good light on bricks and minifigs. And again, we already knew that from basically my first video, but there was a U-Haul that was brought to the bricks and minifigs when she got kicked out, when the original owner got kicked out. They had a U-Haul that night at the store, bricks and minifigs, the guy that was kicking her out. So it's really hard to say what happened that night. Go ahead, Heaven Max.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say it's less bricks and minifigs, the corporation, and more.
Yeah,
bricks
exactly,
and
Bert.
minifigs, the
CEO.
I'm having a brain fart now. No, not the CEO.
Oh, fair.
My goodness, I'm having a brain fart as soon as I start talking.
Franchise?
The franchise. Yes, thank you. The female that had the franchise, because when you look into bookkeepings and stuff like that, she was taking things and putting it on layaway, meaning that it was sold to somebody, yet she said that she didn't have the money for certain things.
Right.
And that's why she was fighting so hard for receipts, was because she wanted... I mean, it's just like she had $20,000 accounted for, $20,000 not accounted for, and people are trying to say, well, it's understandable with a balancing problem, but that's in 2 months. That's $2,500 a week for 2 months straight. You would notice that as a small business owner, especially in that type of market, being that small of a retail building. You're not seeing tens of thousands of dollars to where 2,500 just like slips through the crack. $500 a day. You would notice that. So there's a lot of things that are fishy in it.
Yeah. So have you watched the CoffeeZilla? Somebody referred me to that video.
Yes.
Yeah, that actually gives a pretty good rundown of what happened there. So yeah, where I'm not disagreeing that she has some fault. It doesn't seem like she was trying to be shady about it, but at the same time, it's hard to say with what we can have access to video wise, is you see the night that she gets kicked out, but you don't see what CoffeeZilla is talking about, where she was, the Brixie Minifigs accuses her of taking multiple trips out with her jacket hung over it. So it's hard to say that she didn't take product, but with them having a U-Haul at the location the night that they're going to kick her out, they know about this massive collection. They've known about it since the day one. It's really hard to say that they didn't have some nefarious things in mind. And then the fact that the American Fork Police Department got involved like they did doesn't shed very much good light on anyone involved, for that matter. Anyone, including Reckless Ben and the lady that was involved, unfortunately for Reckless Ben.
You know what? I can't shake this feeling is that I feel like this is just an envelope push, like trying to see what they can get away with because they're about to pull the sheets out from under us.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of feel like this is just a water tester.
I wouldn't be surprised. Go ahead, Heavy Max.
I didn't mean to interrupt her. Sorry.
You're all right.
I must be on a bit of a delay. I was just saying, I don't get all the people supporting Reckless Ben in this situation. He's making videos talking about it. I just could rant for,
Sure.
So being careful about, starting something off. But
sure.
Just like in the CoffeeZilla video, the value of the Legos was $107,000 out of $200,000. Right. So
yeah, they latched onto that and they just kept feeding that into the media, which bothers me quite a bit, to be completely honest. The fact that, because Reckless Ben goes on to say that he didn't know any better, whether that's true or not, whatever. But long story short,
the lottery, that's bad as well.
Yeah, like I said, the antics that he did, I don't completely agree with. But unfortunately, when the system is so rigged against you, like it was for him in this case, it's hard to say that what he did isn't completely out of the realm of what we should be doing. Because again, going back to what kind of recourse do we have other than voting? If they're going to play by those rules, why are we not allowed to play by the same rules?
I'm sorry, but it's just like, no, that's like Luigi Mangione. Like, how do we get these CEOs to change? Well, why don't we just start shooting them? Like, like we don't pick the worst possible representative for an ideology. Like, yeah, I don't like scalpers. I don't like corporations ruining entire, markets that are made for children. I completely understand that. Reckless Ben is throughout the entire thing been absolute. I mean, he's doxed the guy. He's made it, he's lost a lot of money with his business. They've had to shut down phones. Different employees have been followed home by other people that have jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah, and other bricks and minifigs have gotten some issues too. So again,
you even say
the media that he forced out basically.
He didn't even win.
Right.
And that was a big issue too, that he said, "Oh, I won this," and they're like, "No, you're just suing the wrong person." So all the way through, he's completely defamed the CEO, whether or not he's a bad faith actor. I think everyone involved has been absolutely terrible. Like even the people selling the Legos, there's something nefarious going on there, right? The new and the old franchise owner, the CEO, and Reckless Ben. There's not a single good actor in this. That I don't think you're making a case law out of it, right? Where it's like, we shouldn't do this kind of thing anymore. I think it's just everyone just looks bad.
Yeah. No,
everybody's an a-hole.
I want to be clear that I'm not advocating for anything illegal. I'm just saying that what we're doing by staying silent is not working anymore. So what can we do other than just standing out on the corner with a little sign that everybody drives past, ignores, flips you off, and says, good luck with that? What are we supposed to be doing? Because the left has been turning to violence.
We got to be more righteous than the Pharisees, right? I mean, we do prevent them from committing violence, but we don't turn to violence ourselves because, we're not trying to make the whole world blind here. We're trying to make the whole world see what the way things should be, right? So leading by example. I think that.
Right, and I do agree with that.
So much money by just giving the original owners, like even if $200,000 is double the valuation, how much money would that have saved them, right? Like their PR team is complete trash throughout this whole thing,
right?
Too. I mean, it should never have even.
That's exactly it.
Mediator and been like a week,
right? It should have been very easily done. So, like you're saying, I don't know how Brian Mansell went into that store and was bullying and big dogging him, whatever the case is. But as soon as he came in and said, I have an agreement with you guys, here's the contract. It should have been very simply made, like you're saying, Heaven Max. Instead, he got trespassed from the location. That is not a good sign from day one, from the start.
Yeah.
So if you're really trying to work things out, it should have been, hey, I don't know who you are. What kind of proof do you got? And it's funny because they talk about this in the CoffeeZilla video, and they're like, yeah, proof. And it's like, dude, you didn't even give him the chance to give you proof. You trespassed him from your store where you knew there was an agreement involved. So it's from the jump.
Him from the CEO store, did he? It was
from the store that he had the agreement with. That's even worse, bro. He has a contract with the store. And you're
allowed to trespass people from private business, like you can,
sure, but with a contract.
Yeah, you don't have a right to be at my property just because we have a contract.
You have a contract to be there. If the contract is signed to be selling your product in their store, it gives you right to be in their store. And if it doesn't, there's some serious problems with that.
Can you break my knees if I don't pay up in time? No, you can't just break the law because someone's breaking a contract.
That's disanalogous. That's not that is not a true analogy there. That is completely different law.
I just stay outside your house because you broke a contract and I just watch you through binoculars.
Yeah, you can because you're on public property at that point in time, bruh.
Stalking usually happens from public property. What are you talking about?
What's your point? Until I find you and I prove that you're stalking, you can legally do that. Yes.
Didn't he get proven for stalking?
Did he? No, that's in court being litigized right now.
I believe so. And actually, I just saw a note that the GoFundMe he started had raised almost $500,000.
Right.
$453,000.
It was wild.
So that's also wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me tell
but
you.
But like Mo Rebuttal in the chat says, what if all he did was legal? What's inherently wrong with what he did to try to fight back against this situation? If everything he did was legal,
Well, I can appreciate that, but it's
doing the
not.
wrong ways about it. I mean, every step of the way, he did the wrong thing, and along that route, he broke laws. Right? Whether they're small infractions, misdemeanors, or felonies, he broke laws. That's not how you win a civil case. You don't do illegal things to win. You know, that's consequentialist. That's wrong. Like, if you can't do it righteously, you're not doing it the right way.
And what is righteous?
Well, like, they should have gone through mediation. They should have had the exact proper amounts right. They should have brought up all of the deals that was talked about, because there was $50,000 offered at one point, right? Because when you take the $20,000 that they tracked down, like CoffeeZilla was talking about, they've tracked down $20,000 that did directly pay for those bricks. Then there was, what was it, $25,000 that they said that they would pay him, and $50,000 in Legos that they still had in stock. So they were going to give him the whole $100,000 back. So there's a lot of things.
Exactly, Beatrix.
He tried to do the fake contract, showing up with the UPS driver, right, trying to get him to sign a fake contract.
And that's fair,
just
Barn.
So many things that he did completely
But your
wrong.
property is there; it's yours.
Yeah, mostly Reckless Ben. This is really largely on Reckless Ben, not even the guy who owned the collection, even though he was silly to reach out to him, in my opinion. I get what he did, and I even get if Reckless Ben was actually being an altruistic actor here, which I really don't believe personally, but anybody's free to their opinion, even if he is. You know, like Heaven's saying, going to such extremes is definitely not going to help this guy. Like, I really believe he was more interested in farming clips and getting clicks than he was truly helping this man.
The original
Thank you for the
Lego
feedback,
owner's
AVG.
wife was arrested previously
Appreciate
for
that
financial
information.
fraud. Like,
I
when you
hadn't
start
even heard
looking
about
into
that.
it, oh yeah, I mean, when you look into it, you go, there's multiple motives, multiple agendas, multiple bad actors.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, this kid
I'm
was
not saying
alright.
break
Like,
in.
he's just
That's
an
the difference.
influencer who does dumb shit.
But if you
right?
have
Like, when
a
Logan Paul
contract
was in
with
the
property,
Japanese
they either need to give
making
you your
videos
property
about
back
suicide
or
people,
allow you
people were
on
like, oh, well,
on
he's shedding
campus.
light on the subject. So that's a good thing, right? They were like, he's fucking disgusting.
And if not, there's a
Reckless
problem.
Ben, he may be, like, the end goal may be virtuous.
Fair enough, AVG. You're all right. I
We're
should
not
be going to bed before too
consequentialists.
much
You have
longer.
to do
Anyway.
the right thing along the way, you know?
Right. I do completely agree. I think to Tater's point, like I do completely understand, you know, the people like Mangione, even the really extremophiles, if you will. I get the motivation. I get that even if they do a terrible thing, in their heart they really are just fed up with seeing people walked all over and mistreated. And that's really frustrating. A lot of us have dealt with that feeling at some point, especially by bigger corporations or companies, right? We get it. And it really sucks. Not even to that degree either. However, like Heaven's saying, you know, like the quote unquote Christian thing to do is to take the quote unquote high road, right? Because it's easy to just slug off your morals and say, well, it's easier for me and quicker for me to handle it this way, and I'll likely get what I want. Even though what I want is justice, you can't, you know, get justice from crime or from immoral actions, because then it stops being justice. Am I making sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Batman, right? Like, we all like Batman. He's punching bad guys in the face. It's not the righteous way of going about it, right? He says all the time, don't call me a good guy, don't call me a hero. Like, he very rightly says, like, I'm doing this because I think it's a means to an end, and I am a consequentialist, right? But from my perspective, you can't justify it, right? So from my worldview, I cannot justify Reckless Ben's actions. He's, you know, yeah.
Well, and I can understand that too. Again, it's just the property that is yours.
Totally
You're entitled to because of the contract.
And
they want to throw it out on the street and say, "Here you go." That's fine.
I'm not just looking at people judgmentally.
But if they're going to keep me away from my property,
Because I know my only other experience with Reckless Ben was seeing him do the McCamey Manor series. And while I think that there's an argument that could be made, because certainly he got a lot of attention for that, right? But I also saw him speak about these victims who had the crap beat out of them by this sicko, right? And he seemed to care. Like, he seemed to be altruistic, at least partially, in that series.
It's like I just want to give the nuance here that if Reckless Ben showed up to my house after 3 months of these antics, I wouldn't have called the second time for trespassing. I would have shot the dude, right? Like, he's lucky that he's still breathing. He showed up to a man's house who has children over something that's civil and kept coming back and back, showed up to his company, actually damaged his company, right, by throwing over that banner over the roof and stuff. I mean, you could go all the way down the list, posting his public or his private address, which isn't even related.
Yeah,
or like
wild.
shown through the CEO, right? You know, so like when you put all this up, the dude would have been shot if he went to anyone else's house doing all that kind of stuff. So the fact that he's just like, hey, trespassing these things, he got lucky. He really did.
And I do.
Well, because they knew they were in the wrong.
Was it last?
That's all it boils down to.
I think it was last week we talked about this a little bit, and was it? Yeah, and you know, it's like I was saying, it's this whole culture
system is so flawed.
Of the clipping and
thanks for the feedback, Mark.
You know, wanting to get clicks, and it's like you were just talking about Jake Paul. We could think of 100, even the couple we were. I mean, all these examples of people who cast their morals aside, their common sense, their sense of self-preservation, everything, just so they can get some clicks and some clout on social media. And this culture is really becoming dangerous because, like you said, he very well could have been deleted had he showed up anywhere else, right?
Yeah. Sorry if I wasn't TOS.
Yeah, I'm not
I'm
real
just
sure.
trying to be extra TOS.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore.
Very extra careful.
Need to be careful.
If you know anything about the news with Florida, then you'll know bonbons is even a bad word now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so
bonbons, I miss.
when I go to apply for my monetization, if they'll research my content, make sure that it's worth paying for, basically. So we want to try to be careful. I know that I have leeway. I'm not, you know, I'm not perfect, so I'm not saying you got to be perfect or anything, but just try, if you will. All right. So, yeah, Barnes says clout is a dangerous drug. Yeah, it is. Beatrix says Reckless Ben original asked for the property back. And that's the thing, is when he walked in, he asked for them to give them the property, and the new store manager immediately told them to leave after they had banned Brian from the location. So it's just the whole thing from the get was fishy. But where I don't disagree with you, again, Reckless Ben, the antics that he went through, I don't know if I would have followed them because of the $1.3 million lawsuit that he's in now. Along with the fact that if he says anything, goes out of turn, whatever, he's going to lose that $500,000 of funds that he's raised for Brian. And the fact that Brian went to Reckless Ben and said, hey, I have $200,000 of Legos, where he didn't. He had 107 to begin with, let alone the fact that there had been some sold already. He had been paid out for some by this point, so there was no way that it was anywhere near $107,000. And he went to Reckless Ben and said, "Hey," or 200,000. It wasn't even 107,000. He went to Reckless Ben and said, "Hey, I have $200,000. This is going to make a good clip. This is going to make a good video series." And they ran with that shit. So where I don't disagree with you, Heaven, it rooted out the corruption that we needed to see. Because if you've watched other videos about Bricks and Minifigs, the company, they are doing shady stuff. For example, there was a kid that went in with his mom and she got offered less money for the exact same product as he was. Now that could be just a click video, rage bait, bullshit idea, but it doesn't change the fact that it's been put out into the public at this point in time. So is that actually what's going on? Because if it is, we need to know about it. Because the Legos,
understand.
the Legos industry is directly being impacted by this. And I personally like Legos. I personally do not like paying $100 for a set of Legos that I can do nothing with other than build this one set. And it's all due to companies like Bricks and Minifigs. Not Bricks and Minifigs, but like them.
I mean, can I just ask you real quick?
Sure.
Don't be specific, but what kind of phone do you have?
Just a
like Samsung,
Android.
Apple.
I don't even know.
I mean, we know where all the lithium for the batteries come from, right? Like when we talk about supporting unethical companies, it's a bit
right,
hypocritical. Like I could point to
sure. I can drop off the grid. I can disappear, and I can make a difference in my life. But that's not how life works, is it? We have to be part of the system in order to fight the system.
To fix this, do we? We don't harass Apple to stop them from using lithium mines.
But that's a whataboutism and off topic from the critique they're going towards Bricks and Minifigs.
Welcome in, Mo. Appreciate you.
Company.
So I did hear somebody mention a few things that I'd like to discuss. I found it interesting about this Ben guy.
Sure.
There was a bunch of claims that he did a bunch of illegal stuff, and also someone else mentioned that as a Christian, we should take the high road. What exactly does that mean in this context?
It's a good question.
You ever heard of turn the other cheek?
So just be a doormat? When has that been ever
there's
been
a
an
difference
ethic?
between a doormat and responding in kind, right?
I was the one who said take the high road.
I think the high road is to get justice.
Well, do you want me to answer your question?
Way possible. Sorry, Leia,
Never said that. You're making that assertion.
No, you're okay. For me, I was kind of like a quote unquoting these words. I feel like that's pretty clear. What I really mean was, the Bible talks about following the laws, right? I can't really quote a scripture right this second, but if you give me a second, I could pull it up. Of your land, etc. Like I think we all know that it's unless they were to pass a law. I'm curious,
Beatrix, what take are you referring to? I haven't been able to pay attention.
Laws tend to be pretty moral, right? Not the way they're carried out, but the laws themselves of our land.
That's what you're referring to?
If you are breaking the law, and I practiced all this by if, and I've also said many times I don't know the entire story, but if he did do that, that's indeed not taking the high road and doing it correctly. I mean, do you disagree?
Yeah, what laws did he break, though?
It's fair, Dave.
Okay, so stalking, a Class A misdemeanor, targeted residential picketing,
hold on, stalking.
Criminal
he was charged with stalking.
Disorderly.
Let's take it one at a time.
Let's take it one at a time.
Have Max
for the laws.
Just give it one at a time so we can rebut it.
Yep,
stalking. Class A misdemeanor.
Stalking. Okay, so stalking was initiated. They made that claim after he was trying to serve papers to take him to court. So what exactly is he supposed to do?
You're supposed to use an unbiased.
What do you mean it's not his position? He was representing the person. Yeah, he was representing. Actually, in the way they put it up, he was representing himself at the time because he was the one suing him. So he was representing the proper party.
He had a bias. He was
he had a bias. Okay, so if I have a bias, then I can't sue someone. Got it. That makes a lot of sense.
You're not supposed to be the one serving them. No, you're not.
He had a person qualified to serve them. It was a lady that was a non-bias, fit all the criteria in the car with him, and they still arrested him.
No, she got hit with bias by association, right? Because they met up, they hung out.
Bias by association.
Yep.
Oh, okay, so you can't even have someone to drive them over there. Like, what criteria is that? Because under the law that they were following, according to state laws, that was not required.
Have you ever been through
there was no clause
of serving papers or being served papers?
I'm saying by the letter, there was no nothing that they were doing wrong with that current person they were using, and you would have to prove otherwise to make your claim actually true. Which all I'm hearing is you don't like this guy. That's basically what I'm hearing.
He broke a lot of laws. It seems like you
haven't proven that. You haven't proven that. No, actually I could give a shit about him. You're making claims that you can't substantiate. That's why I'm up here.
I can. I didn't. I'm not.
I just refuted the one. Okay. I just refuted the first one. So
I haven't. Give me a minute. All right, dude, chill. Relax.
I'm fine. This is my comfort zone. I'm good. I'm groovy. Are you Googling some stuff?
Yeah, I'm. What I have it all written down in front of me. What the fuck do you think I do in my free time, dude?
Well,
I'm
I
a
figured
single
you
father
have
of
like
3 with an opinion.
you're making all these assertions so confidently. I thought you would have something to back it up. That was, I guess, that's what I was assuming. But that's fine. Go ahead and Google.
I mean, you're capable too, and you would find out that he met the criteria, right?
No, he didn't.
Under Utah law,
What
stalking
criteria?
requires a course of conduct, meaning a pattern of 2 or more acts directed at a specific person, like using the fake UPS disguise to approach the home, displaying homemade signs outside
Which
the private
they
residence,
do that for
conducting
serving.
what police
No,
categorize as targeted residential picketing.
that's a
attempted to
common.
personally
Is that a
serve legal
common?
during multiple hostile
Okay,
standoffs.
is that a common tactic that people use to serve people papers?
One of the party members, no, it is not common at all.
No,
It's
it's not.
uncommon.
It's not common for people. Oh, really? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, it's not common for people
It
to
is
serve
very
their
common.
own side's
It
papers.
is. No, it's very common for people to use disguises or UPS delivery or whatever have you, just to get in front of the person and then serve them. Because all you have to
wasn't
do
trying
is
to
make them
serve
aware
him
of
with
it
the
and give
fake
them.
UPS package. He was trying to get him to coerce
Exactly,
him to
Bert.
fake, like
Exactly.
impossible contract. Right? He even said afterwards, like it wasn't even a real contract, but trying to coerce someone to signing an illegal contract is still illegal, even on that. But they're not trying to hit him with that. But it goes towards the stalking, right? It's one of the 2 reasons.
Okay, so what was he supposed to? What was the alternative here? Because you seem to be against everything he did. What exactly was he supposed to do?
Reckless Ben shouldn't have been a part of it. No, yeah, I'm against him from the get-go.
Okay, so then he shouldn't have been involved, and the guy doesn't get any kind of justice, and they just sit on it, and it is what it is. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you call this justice is wild. I mean, we may have different definitions of justice. No, I think
I think people should be held accountable for their actions. Yeah.
If they have a consignment contract, the initial people that owned that had the consignment deal with the initial franchise, right? I just got to point out, they could have easily mediated it. They could have even gone up to Bricks and Minifig and said, "Hey, if you don't give this out,
You're talking about the original owners?
Yeah.
The original owner?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they were kicked out of the store, and then there's video evidence that the guy who took it over said that they were going to take over the contract, and then they didn't. And what they did is they used a legal loophole saying that, well, since the previous store owner that they kicked out, his name is on the paper, they have no obligation to fulfill that contract, and their name's not on the paper. So, and they knew exactly what they were doing, clearly. So now what do you do?
So you asked me a hypothetical. I was trying to address what the hypothetical should have been, and then you jump in saying, "Well, that's not what."
No,
happened.
I asked you. No, I didn't ask you for a hypothetical.
What should they have done? What should they have done?
I see.
That's a hypothetical.
What's the
do
odds?
It differently? What should
no, a
they have
hypothetical is something is a scenario that you can make up to like prove an example. I'm asking you what the next steps should be. That's not a hypothetical.
You're asking what the next? Oh, well, Reckless Ben's fucked. Good luck getting anything back at this point. He's going to probably have his wages garnished for the rest of his life. I don't know.
The last time I doubt it. I mean, you prove that in court. I think he's got from what I saw last that update that I saw in it, there was actually quite a few high-ranking lawyers looking to take his case. And also, the last thing I saw was their GoFundMe actually got put up again. Now, maybe it got taken down since last time I checked, but it got put up again, and it's almost like $500K. So,
okay.
So, what exactly? I mean, what is your beef with this exactly? Because you're saying it's illegal.
A social justice warrior doing unethical, illegal things to try and go after a civil case. Do I really have to list it all off again? I mean, the 3 months of constant harassing.
No, but you're just saying it's unethical because it's unethical. Why is it unethical?
Talking about his church.
Doxing requires releasing something that's not public information.
Yeah, and the CEO's private home address was not public information. A CEO of a corporation, the corporation is considered its own person, right? He was separate from that. He's counted as a separate party.
When did he dox him publicly?
During his very first video, he showed a Google Maps and it had the guy's address literally written out line for line, zip code and everything.
On the first video?
Yep.
I have to go.
It was either the first or the second one, not the third. But he shows a G Maps of the guy's home with his address right there.
Let's see. I don't remember seeing an address there.
Yeah, I want to say you had to kind of pay attention, but I do want to say that he did have the doxing information out to where people could find it if they wanted to. Which again, I don't agree with. There were some things
Right,
the antics were not good, but
Unfortunately,
unfortunately,
CoffeeZilla, if you had Tyler Oliveira, there's like 10 other users or creators that I would say would probably go through this in a way that you would say has a level of decorum and, decency to where you don't look like a complete asshat going through it. But instead, they
Not a
pick
pranker.
some Logan Paul twerp, in my opinion. And it's just been an absolute disgusting, horrible facade from both sides. I mean, again, I don't think anyone's in the right, but
well, you
that
seem to
includes
think the
reckless
bricks
driving.
and minifigs is on the right. You haven't really said anything negative about them in this whole thing.
No, I have multiple times. I said that I don't like the idea of scalping. I don't like the idea of being fraudulent. I don't like the idea of corporations hiding behind franchise laws and gray zones and stuff like that. But again, that's a civil problem. And when we get into criminal land, I just can't.
Do you know when in the first video, he doxed him?
Well, let me see right here. No, I do, dude. No.
No,
But you
okay.
can. I mean, say that me and Tater are both lying and didn't have that same vision. Right?
I'm just asking. Like, look, I'll completely concede the point if I just can see some evidence to it.
Watch the video, you'll find it. There's your evidence.
Well, that's your assertion, so you should know where it's at, shouldn't you, or at least have an idea?
You see what I mean? You're being pedantic. Me and Tater both say this. You're not bringing up any kind of clips or anything like that because I'm just operating in good faith that you're not trying to lie to me.
Tater, stop trying to appeal. Stop trying to appeal to Tater on this. He just made a general statement. He didn't make the claim you did.
He
So
said,
you don't really know.
What do you mean?
I'm just backing
don't
up.
have a fucking time.
Yeah, he said if it was a doxing, it's bad. That's just a general statement. So where exactly in the video is this? I'm looking through the first video. I don't see him going to the guy's house in the first video, actually. I see him going to the corporation and then the store.
I mean, I just don't know what you're trying to argue with me. Like, he met the criteria.
I'm trying to see the well, no, we're on doxing now. I'm trying to find the doxing proof.
Okay. I hope this is enjoyable for you guys. I'll try and find the exact timestamp.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know if I saw it personally, but I did hear multiple people talking about it. So I want to say that it is there. Where it is, I'm not sure, but yeah, not everybody's seen all the videos, so some people are probably lost in a little bit of this. But yeah, it was a wild ride for sure. Digging deep into it like I've seen both sides. I'm not taking a side on either side on this one for sure. When I first heard about it, somebody sent me the Reckless Ben videos, and it seemed pretty damning for sure. But digging into it from CoffeeZilla and things like that, it's definitely everybody was in the wrong on this one for sure. Did you find it?
So, I got
question...
arrested investigating a Lego store, the Bricks and Minifigs Part 2. It's between
it's Part 2,
13 minutes and 15.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I got arrested. Okay, so let's see. You said what timestamp?
15 to 15 and a half minutes, right?
13 to 15 and a half.
13
to, yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
13.
No, you're fine. Like, dad mode still as well. I got a kid banging behind me that you guys can't probably hear, but that's why I keep turning the camera off.
Oh, I got you. You're good.
You said 13 or 15. 13 is when they're getting questioned by the police on the side of the road.
That between 13 and 15 and a half.
Welcome in. Don't call it art. Good to see you, buddy. It's a wild ride. We got into the Bricks and Minifigs at the end. Not sure why, but oh man. And I'm just reading the chat, guys. Just so you know, you don't have to necessarily keep the silence going or anything like that. But yeah, don't call it art. It says, what did I just walk into? Oh man.
Source, bro.
What was that?
Nothing.
Oh,
sorry.
You're good. Why, Bosch, man? You walked right into the Legos barefoot. For real, though.
Are you talking about when he puts the sign up across the street?
No, he's showing his laptop or some screen, and he shows his Google Maps, and it's got the guy's address.
Okay, I'm still looking for it. I don't see it. Like, so I'm willing to concede the point if you can show me. I'm just
concede now.
It.
Make us all happy.
Well, that make you happy, but I've yet seen any proof.
I mean, like I said, I'm middle on the road. I'm trying to be objective about this. I think they're all bad actors, and I don't think he's in the right.
Okay, so I don't see where it says in Google Maps. I'm at 1603. I watched it from 13 minutes. I don't see anything Google Map related or any address. So
obviously, I wasn't watching the video to find it. I just threw it into an AI.
Oh, so you just go? Okay, you got it from an AI.
Because I watched it, but again, I don't. There's been like 4 fucking videos, dude.
Yeah, there's so many videos to be completely honest. But yeah,
to know
okay. So you know what? Actually, I'll be extremely charitable here, right? Let's just say I do grant it, right? Like I'll grant it anyway. He ducks the guy. Does that make the overall wrong that he's trying to correct not worth pursuing? Does that completely invalidate someone because they made a mistake along the way of trying to get justice?
Again, it's consequentialist idea to say, well, the
grammar Nazi,
moral, so therefore everything between.
Well, no, that's no.
So then you would understand that I say that the goal that he was trying to accomplish, I could say, is justified.
So you're not answering. You're not answering the question.
The way. What's the question?
You're answering the question. Okay, so you didn't even hear me. Okay, great. So if you have a situation and you're pursuing justice to get a wrong righted, and you're taking steps along the way, and you mess up and you do one thing wrong, let's just, in this case, I'll say the doxing, right? I'll grant, even though there was no evidence, I didn't see anything, but I'll grant it, that he doxed this guy.
Send him my way.
If that's the case, does that just invalidate the whole thing and he's in the wrong completely because he made one mistake along the way? Or is the justice still worth pursuing?
Just for a second, dear? Do you mind, Heaven? You're granting yourself a whole lot there, right? Because you're saying he's on the way, or he's trying to get justice, when it sure looks to me like he's committing, at best, vigilantism. It's not like he's going to the police. Okay, see you soon. And actually trying to get justice.
No,
he's trying to take.
No,
hold on. I'm not done.
He did access the police. I'm just correcting you. You're wrong. He contacted the police. He did.
Okay, who? The guy with the Legos?
Both of them tried to contact the police originally, and the police are part of the Mormon Church, and they're basically playing goalie for this guy and his company, and they basically trespass anyone who comes to the store. No, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's proven.
Can I have that proof? Where's your source for that?
Can
I have a source for that?
Video, I can go. Yeah, I can go pull up the guys in the video, and we can search their. I can pull up the screenshots shown in the video if you watched it. Did you watch the video?
How does that prove that they are somehow running in a? Okay, before that, hold on, because as I was trying to say before, you are painting this in like the absolute best possible light in the owners.
No, I was at that point given a hypothetical. I was at this point. The last question I gave was
just now. If you let anybody finish, you might know what they're saying. What I'm trying to say is you're painting him in the best possible light as if he did nothing wrong. And you're saying that he's trying to pursue justice, whether or not, say he did go to the police. That's even worse.
No, the best possible, the best possible
I mean, can you really just not let me finish my thought? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Okay,
literally, you're saying, thank you. You're saying he's trying to pursue justice. Let's even give it to you. He did that. If anything, that would be more vigilantism. Like, is there not a step above the local police? Of course there is. Even within the state, like, it's not like the local police department, city or county or sheriff is going to be the only thing that they can do, right? And then you're saying along this quest for justice, he messed up, as in it was a mistake, except the fact that there are supposedly repeated mistakes, and it's not like he just like, whoops, he did something. He filmed it, bragged about it, and posted it online. So I'm not really sure how you're getting your framing that he's some innocent victim here, but it just seems kind of wild to me.
Okay, great. Are you done?
For now.
Okay, great. So you mentioned quite a few. You mentioned quite a few things in there. I just have a question for you. Did you watch the videos in their entirety to see the evidence put forth?
Were you late to the stream? Because I said earlier, just like I said last week, and I said it many, many times so that something like this wouldn't happen, right? Because I try to cover my own ass. That no, in fact, I haven't watched them in their entirety, and this is based on my opinion from what I've heard from people who have watched them, who.
So you're basing your opinion on what other people was told you. Got it.
Other people who I trust.
You got a source
right?
So
like I better, right?
You're basing your opinion on what the people. I'm just trying to clarify where you're coming from and what you're basing your argumentation on. So whenever I'm
this
referencing,
wasn't ever a huge argument to begin with. Until you
hold on. Whenever yeah, I know it was boring until I got here. Anyway, whenever you're talking about the proof of the Mormons, and then you said that it's a conspiracy theory, that kind of does tell me that you didn't watch the videos, because there's a long list of things showing that these guys are deeply involved with the Mormon Church, and even the Bricks and Minifigs guys are in the Mormon Church, and so it's
you said the police are Mormon. How do the police?
Yeah,
connect?
The police.
They're Mormon.
They are Mormon.
It's
yes,
the Mormon cabal. Watch out.
Yeah. Which actually, look, I was shocked to see it as well, right? Because there has been it's kind of like generally been known that like Mormons look out for themselves, and it's just kind of like, yeah, it's just kind of common knowledge to some degree, right? But seeing it in this regard was actually pretty eye-opening and kind of shocking.
Yeah, as much as I hate to admit it, it's spicy.
Consider the evidence put forth.
Well, and I will do that when I get the time to do it. I have 2 kids that are home with me for the summer right now. I'm really not watching a whole lot of content. But as this is what I'm trying to say, right? If the Mormon Church is interfering, and you say there's seemingly actual evidence of this, they could also take that to their local police commissioner, and it wouldn't be the first time a whole police force or a whole police what is the word I'm looking for?
As far as going above the police department there, they did actually at one point go in the video to follow a police report at the police report for the cops basically being corrupt, but then they realized that they were asking the police to look at themselves. So now to your point, I'll even grant that I don't know if they ever tried to go above them one more layer to see what they could do past that. Sure, maybe. But originally, when I came in here, I was just hearing a lot of assertions that was making claims that didn't really seem to have any evidence behind it. And I've yet to be convinced.
Well, I mean, really, we only see what these people have presented to us.
Right.
Regardless, either way, both sides are going to frame it exactly how they want the public to see it. And as I said, like right before, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 minutes before you came on, to me, it seems like one of those situations like the AITAH subreddits, right? It's like, oh, everybody's the asshole, right? Yeah, that's kind of what it seems to me. Not that that anybody's just demonic because they're so terrible, but that there's no pure, good people here. It seems like everybody's kind of
false binary. It's like I'm not saying that they're extremely good or extremely bad. Let me ask you this: if there was video evidence if there was video evidence of the cops sitting around, body cam footage of them discussing the legal proceedings with this guy, he's currently they're viewing him as completely being in the right, but he's sitting there in his car trying to serve papers, and the cops are there discussing on their cameras what they can brainstorm to charge this guy with just to get rid of him.
Which happens every day in America. Literally happens every day in America.
Well, hold on.
Mo is a good debater. I'm not sure.
Are part of the Mormon Church.
What's going on tonight with everybody?
And they're sitting there like actively just trying to arrest this guy instead of just going by the law, because there was a few times in that section where they actually checked his court case papers to serve, and they looked it up. It was a real case. And so they really didn't have much grounds. And in one case, they didn't even tell him what he was being arrested for. They just arrested him.
Which they don't have to until you're officially charged at the station.
Well, no, they just arrested him. They didn't charge him with anything at that point. They asked him. They just arrested him and took him to the there. And then when he was asking them what exactly he was being charged for, they said, "Hey, man, look, you just have to get a lawyer and figure this all out." That was their answer.
But it is concerning.
Video.
Okay, but did they detain him or arrest him?
Yes,
because there's a difference.
They had detained him and then arrested him. Yes.
But so they arrested him for no crime. This is what I'm confused about.
only one.
Well, you have to
thing that he
detain
did
somebody
wrong,
before you can
but
arrest them.
What about the rap?
No, I know,
Do
but
you
what
think
was
he
the
did anything wrong
crime?
there?
They didn't tell him the crime. That was the point. When he got to the police station, he asked them multiple times, and he was talking to one of the detectives there. And the detective literally said on camera, "Look, man, you're just gonna have to get a lawyer to kind of sort this all out." That's what he told
I feel
him
like
on video.
if I went through that video, there would be evidence that it was edited. Because here's the thing, right?
Welcome back, Farmer Cat.
There's a lot of
right?
And you know what? I will go and I will watch these videos just for you, sir. Just for you. And I'm also kind of curious.
That would make me super happy.
I'll do it. I will do it just for you. Okay,
my
just for
day.
you. I'm gonna say just for Mo.
Yay.
I'm gonna do it. I might even cover it. Who knows? You might change my mind completely. But here's the thing,
If
right?
you cover
I feel like there's a
invite
lot of
me up to like
misconceptions.
Spurg more. Okay, go
Hey,
ahead.
That's
this isn't
concerning.
even me spurging. Did you
I
see
didn't go
my
to
debate
Utah
with Beautifully?
schools, so
That
I'm
was
not
me
sure,
spurging,
but
like at the end.
I think I've heard that.
Oh, okay.
Spurg.
I don't know.
I said I was
Concerning.
spurging. I was like, I was spurging it all.
Oh.
Okay, sorry, misheard.
I would never make
I
such
think it really
claims.
You know, I mean, I'm capable, but you know, I
Perish
try
the
to hold
thought.
it in. Never ever. But the thing is, I feel like there's lots of misconceptions of police, right? Yada yada yada. They don't have to tell you what they're arresting you for on the scene, but if they're like actually going to be charging you, they take you to the station, etc. They absolutely have to tell you that because you signed documents that even have it. Even if he didn't tell him, there would be a document that he had to sign to be released that would have the charge written on it, right? So it's just hard for me to believe, even if he didn't I don't really know if there's a law that he has to verbalize. Maybe I'd have to look that up for the state, but I do know that he would have had it documented. So it just seems crazy to me. If you're saying he wasn't charged with anything, I've seen that happen a few times where cops try to be dirty and try and get a charge on someone. That's why you were like, they're discussing charging him. It happens every day. I've seen at least 30 or 40 body cam videos like that, where the cops are like, oh, maybe we can get him for this. No, we can get him for that. No, it doesn't meet the statute. You know, blah, blah, blah. Like, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But I would be very curious to see if there's obvious signs of editing in that part of the video, because he might have a case if that's the case.
A very, very interesting string of videos. And I can even grant that there were mistakes made along the way, right?
Yeah.
But I think the overall pursuit of getting this guy who has an older father that's like dying his like money back, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think also
But do you not think he was shady at all?
Consequentialism again. You say it's not, but yet it is. You're saying, well, the overall pursuit for the end justify the means.
No, you're asserting you're asserting that I'm justifying. Did I ever say that he should go and like hold the guy ransom or some other nefarious way? If I'm saying that, well, you're saying it's ends justify the means. I never said that. You're just asserting that.
You're seeing no wrong
in
anything he's doing, and you're arguing.
Fair, but
well, no, that goes back to my original question. Well, not original, but the question I asked a moment ago.
If it's a cult,
if you are going, look, the justice system can be very messy, very complicated. Lots of things, lots of spinning plates, if you will. In the pursuit of anything that you're going after, if you're in the right and you're pursuing it, if you make a mistake along the way, and you know, okay, you have to answer for that. Does that completely invalidate the larger picture or making you putting you in the, I guess you could say, the moral right of trying to get justice? Does that just make you okay? Well, you just give them go home because you forgot to sign this one document.
If you're intentionally doing things that are wrong, does that make it okay? Because
you have now you have to So you have to prove intent now. Like, do you have access to his mind? Do you think he was being intentful with his actions in a nefarious way, or do you think it could potentially be an accident?
Doesn't the content prove intent?
That's the whole point of the courts, right? Which is what it should have gone through.
Well, no, the court's only a small claims court, so it only goes up to like 10,000 in that state. So he wouldn't have gotten near. So he should just took 10,000, whatever the amount was, and called it quits.
He could have pursued criminal. We're not talking about Ben now. We're talking about the original Lego owner. He could have gone after it civilly, and he could. Well, it'd be theft if they refused to give it back in civil court, right? Because they would say this monetary value or return this, right? And it would end up being criminal.
Civil, you can only go up to 10,000.
Yes, but if they don't return the Legos, knowing that or if they admit to holding them, right, or if there's contractual proof, which would come out in the civil court, then they'd also be criminally liable if they don't return it, because that's theft.
Well, he's outside the civil process. The civil court only goes to 10,000. then he has to go into a different level of litigation in order to pursue the loss.
Yeah, that's what you have to do with these things. I know.
But so when you first watched, I think it's the first video that by Reckless Ben, Brian says that he tried to go down that route. He tried to sue them.
But he didn't.
Yeah,
the court literally responded, and he tried to say, "Oh well, I won by default." But that's
No.
Even come out and let them
No, I'm talking about Brian Mansell, the one that way before that. So at the very first of the video, basically, Brian Mansell says, "I tried to sue," and the judge, or not the judges, sorry, the lawyers that I talked to said this isn't going to work. It's not going to happen.
Did you see what was technically said? It was said by the courts, right? They said that you have to pretty much try and show that you've had a good faith attempt to try and settle this outside of court, right? Which is why he ended up going to the dude's house and stuff.
No. You're talking about Reckless Ben. I'm talking about Brian Mansell, the original owner of the Legos.
Sorry.
Okay, so he tried to sue. He tried to do the proper route. Went in, said, "Hey, I have this agreement." They banned him from the store. He tried to sue. The lawyer said, "This isn't going to work." What route would you take at $107,000?
Just a quick note on that. He said that the reason the lawyers told him it wasn't going to work is because Bricks and Minifigs basically told him that if you try this, we're going to drag this out.
Correct.
And you'll end up spending way more than what it's worth.
Correct.
So they basically told him that, we're going to big bank versus little bank, we'll win. That's what they told him.
Yeah. So
yeah, but I mean,
again,
they're the big boot. They will squash him, especially if they're going after the wrong person.
Is that right?
They didn't go after the correct people.
Yeah. So we're just supposed to
think things are right.
Lay down and take the boot.
Everyone's been wrong.
Well, and I agree with that. Everybody's been wrong, but again,
That's what I'm saying, like, I've been nuanced this whole entire time. I'm like, everyone's a piece of shit actor in this. I don't know why that's such a hot take.
Well, I don't see how you can say that.
I tend to agree.
Everyone's a piece of shit in this, because you have a party that's been injured.
That might be
right?
strong.
Yeah, I think so, Bert.
You have
Yeah.
a party that basically injured the other party, right? So the party that's been injured, suffered the loss, is trying to recoup any way they possibly can, because obviously the court system has failed them. The police department has failed them, right? So it's almost like you're cornered, and you have to now resort to methods or techniques in dealing with people that you wouldn't ordinarily do. So I don't see how the party that's been injured in this particular instance had any other choice. Right?
Well, you always
so
have another choice.
Sure.
Well, yeah, you just take the loss, take the L. All right,
no, that's not the other choice. Y'all act like the local police precinct is the end.
So
no, I'm not at all.
So
literally not even a little bit.
Now this is really it's going to be. We'll see if looks like Discord glitched out again. You guys still with me?
Yeah, we're with you.
There you are.
Yeah, I just got a really weird cutout. Hey, I'm gonna head out, but hey, Tater, thanks for letting me out. I enjoyed that.
You're good, Mo. I appreciate you coming on. It was an interesting conversation. Real quick before you leave, go ahead and shout your channel out real quick.
Yeah, I'm a rebuttal everywhere. X, YouTube, anywhere on Discord. You want to contact me? I'm in multiple Discords, including this one. So you guys take care and God bless.
God bless you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I should probably be wrapping up before too much longer. Like I said, this wasn't necessarily a conversation I was going to have today per se. I did want to talk about it because there have been some developments since I covered it, and I did want to clear things up. I am in agreement with Heaven that everybody was in the wrong here. However, he should have gone to like CoffeeZilla or somebody. The problem is, I just learned about CoffeeZilla literally today. So I didn't even know about this guy, and he has 4.3 million followers, right? So there's only so many routes that you know of being able to go to and get it taken care of. Where I don't disagree with, he shouldn't have gone to Reckless Ben, because Reckless Ben literally has a persona of jokester, of pranks, right? He's infiltrated
Yes.
these brainwashing centers and things like that. So he has a certain level of antics about him where CoffeeZilla might have been more logical thinking about it and things like that. So where I do agree with that, I the fact of the matter is we can't know what really happened because we're only seeing what they showed us. But
right.
If they're telling the truth, and if he did try to sue, and if he was banned from the store from before Reckless Ben even started, that's not a good sign. That should never have happened. That shouldn't have been the way that it happened there. I'm not sure why Voshmit and Heaven Max are glitched up. Curious if they're going to come back or what's going on. Can you hear me, guys?
I was going to say, I see.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it must be my internet or something like that. There was an obvious update that went down last night, and my Discord or whatever it was that muted me first has changed. So something's obviously going on with my computer. I'm not sure what's going on. So frustrating.
And can I say one more thing, Tater?
Yes, please go ahead.
I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was trying to wait.
You're fine.
When it comes to this whole like framing court of public opinion thing, right? It's like this whole, well, what was this guy supposed to do? And like these types of questions. I think it's really
Trey, it was wild.
Important to remember, even if we don't like to, say it out loud, that what he did, bringing Reckless Ben into it, and the way that it appears, Ben getting involved, even if he is being a good faith actor, the actions that he took that supposedly broke the law, because there are charges that are filed, not convictions, but charges at least.
They, as in bricks and minifigs?
That's going to make the situation
I didn't catch that, I guess.
Different, right? Than better to some, worse to some, indifferent to some, but different than it would have looked had they stayed within the legal system.
Yeah, so that they could say they made a good faith debate. Yeah.
The strict confines of the legal system. They might have twice as much money in that GoFundMe to pay for good lawyers, and the entire public could be on their side. Whereas now it almost seems like, two wrongs don't make a right. Like, even if this is something that pushed you, this wasn't how you should handle it. Again, from the framing perspective.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got on that.
Right.
I just think that the bigger this shitstorm gets, the cheaper my Legos are going to get. So let's stir the pot.
Right.
I love stirring the pot. No, I just can't believe it, because I went into this and I straight off the bat was like, I have no idea what's going on. I started watching some of Reckless Ben's videos, and I was completely like on his side, all for this tirade and everything.
Sure.
And then I saw like Legal and Legal Mindset posted law, and they even said about how the police messed up and everything else. But on the same note, they were pointing out all the different criminal infractions that he did along the way. And so, seeing these both in tandem, I was like, I do see his intention, but I don't see his method, right?
Yeah.
Let me chime in here. So in another life, I was a contractor, right? I used to build homes. Okay. And I'd have contracts for 12 homes, 20 homes, or whatever, right? And I saw throughout my years in the trades where people would get ripped off by developers and whatnot. And a lot of times what would happen is you'd be owed 40, 50, 100 grand, right? And
hey Rex, good to see you, man. Appreciate the engagement, buddy.
People, these big
if you don't know, Rex has his own show.
They don't care. They will rip you off 100K, no problem, because they know that in legal proceedings and legal costs that you'll incur trying to, recoup your money, you'll actually end up spending more in legal fees than, say, the 100K or 150,000 or whatever it is, right? It's only when it goes into the millions and multi-millions of dollars that you can legally kind of go after these corps And even then, you're still going to incur a loss of like $500,000 or $1 million in legal fees.
Right.
So this is the world we live in, and the corporations have completely gotten out of control. But the reality is, I think the guy was desperate. He's broke.
Thank you. Don't call it art. I appreciate it, that man. Really appreciate it, buddy.
And he's probably never dealt with an issue like this before, ever. He doesn't know how to go about it. Yeah, he, recruited this guy who's an idiot, right?
Gross,
and
Rex.
Let's face it, people do desperate things, and when they're desperate because they have absolutely no recourse. And I've seen it. I mean, I've seen corporations come in and rip off everybody 20, 40, 80, 100 grand, right? Depending on how deep into the contract or the subdivision would be at. And it would be like, you're on your own, because you go to a lawyer and if he's honest, he'll just tell you straight up, man, I need 20 grand down as a retainer. This could go for a couple of years, and cost you a couple $100,000 to get that $60K, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's also some element of choice, right? Because there are lawyers like that, and there are plenty of lawyers who will work on a contingency. And actually, to be able to keep your bar number, you have to do a certain amount of pro bono cases every single year. That's like part of the requirements, right? So there's definitely a way. Not to mention, if you sue someone for whatever, I'm assuming you're hinting at theft here, or not hinting, it's pretty much what you said. If it's theft of some sort, 40, 50, 100,000, you just said. So if somebody
keeping you in my prayers, don't call it art.
For that, you can
hope you're all right, buddy.
Also recoup your attorney's fees as part of that settlement. So, but you did mention, so a lot of people don't know that that's an option.
Well, it got so bad in the trades that, like, the lumber companies that would drop off the lumber, they would have what do you call it? What is it?
Oh man, stay safe, guys.
Oh man, I can't even think of the word now.
Stay safe.
But they would, a lien. So they would put a lien before they even dropped.
Oh man,
the lumber, so they would ensure getting payment, right?
Yeah.
And it was so bad, like the concrete companies and stuff like that. If they'd be pouring a foundation, they were paid before the foundation even dried. You know what I mean? Like it got really bad. And so what was happening is that these developers,
it's good to see. Hopefully it stays that way.
That were basically developing. What they were doing is they go in, they take all the deposits from, say, the houses, and what they were doing is getting everybody pre-approved for their loans. They weren't even working out of their own pockets. It was a scam. The whole thing, well, no, I shouldn't say it like that. I should say it is they were being very constructive and creative with their financing in order to maximize their profits to the fullest extent, and to the point where even the homeowners themselves were in jeopardy, because they would be signing these like legal contracts that allowed these developers and corporations to, forfeit on or don't have a performance bond. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. The legality, the litigious nature of everything is, when it comes to corporations, is so one-sided, because that's why this
nice. Report that.
I don't agree with what the guy did, right? Not the guy that took the original loss, but this kid, this YouTuber guy, right? He's an idiot. And like someone said, he's a joker, right? He grabbed the wrong guy. But again, think about the desperation of this guy. He's like, what is he going to do? So I can understand and see what
is this also a known thing?
What's that?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Is this like a known thing? Is this like a sure fact that he's like, you said he was broke and desperate for money?
Hope it's all right, buddy.
It's actually known and proven about him, or is it?
Just from what I've seen, that's what I gleaned from this. And not only that, being in the position myself and seeing others like that, I kind of like figured that this guy probably didn't have any money to protect himself.
Well,
That's why
I don't know how
went
he
to the
amassed all those
private-
Legos. He doesn't have it, 'cause I can tell you, as someone with 2 kids, Legos are expensive.
So that was the dad that amassed the Legos. It was the son that was trying to sell them. So his father went in to medical issues, and so they needed to pay the medical bills somehow. And so he decided to sell this massive collection. And when the crystal chick went to the house, she went there to scope it out and get an idea of how much it was. She said it was worth $200,000. So they all latched onto that price, and I'm afraid that that's part of the reason why he signed the contract rather than just fucking going on eBay or something like that and selling it himself, because he probably would have gotten it out way more.
Yes.
But when you're dealing with a
Yes,
father
and that's what I
that's
was
ill, it's hard. But go ahead, Leia. Sorry.
Oh, as someone who caretook for my mom for 2 decades, basically, I completely, and was impoverished. I completely understand that.
Sure.
And I mean, I even resolved this as a bad thing. So again, I can totally understand that desperation. But that was the point I was going to bring up a moment ago too. We were talking about choice and how, yes, corporations take advantage of people, but you know, a hot take perhaps, but it was also his choice to go to this company, Figs and whatchamacallit, Bricks and, somebody help me out here, Bricks and Figgins? What is in my head?
Minifigs.
Bricks and minifigs.
Minifigs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Minifigurines.
I'm like, I know it's bricks and something with
Bricks
figs.
and chickens
Yeah.
and roosters.
No, bricks and minifigs. Thank you.
Thought you were talking
His
about
choice
Bricks
to
and
go to Bricks and
Atlas
minifigs.
for a second there. I was like, what are you talking about Brian for all of a sudden? Anyway, sorry.
No.
Getting back
No.
on subject.
Although that's fair. Oh, no, you're good. It was his choice to go, you know, because I was thinking that too, as we were just, me and the general, we're kind of going back and forth there for a second, is, you know, I'm speaking on choice, and that's a choice as well, because he could have spent, yes, a little bit more time and his own effort to list it on eBay, Mercari, OfferUp, sell it. There's Facebook Marketplace. There's hundreds of places, and you know, there's a big market for Legos. Again, as someone with kids, I happen to know this is a fact.
Well, and considering she had so many on layaway, the fact that they were on layaway was because it was in such a high demand. People were like, I want this so bad. I can only afford $10 right now. Please hold it for me.
Right.
So if he had done that on eBay or something like that, they wouldn't have been able to hold it for him. It would have just been like, I've got to make up this money. And it would have sold for the $150,000 that he thought it was going to. Right. But like you're saying, he
but
didn't.
it wouldn't be somebody else handle it.
Correct. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm not judging him for, someone who's cared for an ill loved one. Not judging. And I'm not really passing judgment.
Now you all lost!
Anybody can think that they know what they want to think that they know about this case and about the situation. But until there are facts, until there's a trial for these supposed crimes he's committed and evidence is put forward, not videos on the internet and not hearsay, but actual evidence is given to a court. And then when it becomes public record, we can all see that. We're not going to know for sure, because all of this is also, once again, based on videos that you could easily edit, right? So
right. And that's the biggest problem I'm having, is the fact that there's some things that I noticed that I was just like, wait, that doesn't quite add up exactly right. And that's why I went down the deep hole after I covered it, because I still stand by my original assessment. The fact that he walked into that store and they immediately banned him, that is not a good sign from day one. Weird. Okay?
Yeah.
From there on out, it was all fucked up. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I was going to say earlier, too, when you mentioned that, like, once again, we're getting this side of it, right? But I wonder, like, did the shop owner, that particular one, or the employee that was there at the time, say anything publicly about that? Because my question would be, like, that's what he tells us, right? This man, but how do we know he hasn't already? I mean, he just been involved. So what all has he done personally in the past? Has he shown up 100 times? Has he already been told not to come back? We don't know the backstory. So it may seem like he's just saying, get the heck out, suspiciously to us.
Thanks for being here, Batman Joker. Appreciate you, man. You're watching.
You know?
That's the thing, is that this company, this franchise, has already had a back and forth with the original owners of the bricks about this whole situation, right? And corporate and everything that was already started before Ben got involved. That's why Ben got involved, right? Was because they were pushing back against it. So him as however you want to define him, an accomplice or, just a pathway through for, the resolution that they were looking for or anything. He showed up as a part of their party. I mean, as a corporation, you go, there might be someone in here trying to buy some Legos or something like that. I don't need this guy with his camera coming in and talking about all this stuff. Like, I'd ban him straight away. Again, like if you were the business and someone comes in talking trash about your business, you're kicking them out. You're not going to let them just have their moment.
Now, if it had been the first video, I don't care how bad he made it seem. The way he came in and said, I'm here to pick up my friend's Legos. And then when he said that what the Legos were, their immediate reaction was, you can leave. It wasn't, oh, we do have some Star Wars Legos. Which ones are you referring to? Do you have a receipt? Do you have anything to prove it? It was immediately, you can leave. I am being harassed. It gets on the phone. I am being harassed. Watch the cameras. I am being harassed. Now, if that wasn't the original video, if that wasn't the first video, that is what it is. But if it was the original video, that was not a way of doing business.
I know, but it's like if you're having a back and forth in a civil court type of way about something that you're contentious about, and then someone shows up to that business in person with a camera, I understand that. Like he's like, but they're not going to they're not going to admit.
Yeah,
guilt,
exactly.
Right?
Don't call it art.
Oh, we have the merchandise that you think is stolen, right? Like that's not something that's going to happen ever. No one should expect that. But as soon as they show up and they're like, hey, I'm representing this person about these Star Wars, they're like, oh my goodness, we've been going back and forth about this guy trying to claim $250,000 we stole and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, boom, bye, right? Like, I understand the notion that it's like they could have been, oh, well, let's see what problem you have going on. But they didn't have a duty to, right? Like, their duty is to the bottom line as a corporation and as a business. And he was not good for it, from the get-go.
Yeah,
so
well,
I understand their pushback. But again, they were unethical.
Yeah, that's just it. It's like I do agree, but like Don't Call It Art says, the business does have the right to not be filming inside the store, and they just didn't invoke that. They could have just said, "Hey, we don't allow filming," and then once the film had been stopped, she could have gotten on the phone and said, "Hey, I'm being harassed," and all that garbage, and it wouldn't have been on tape. But because it was gotten on tape,
that's also a good point.
But that's women, right? That's less bricks and minifigs.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I know a lot about filming in public, but maybe the typical woman does not.
Well, and that's fair too.
But if it's a private business,
but if it's a private,
they can refuse business, tell you to stop. They could do any number of things.
Yep.
But it's like if someone showed up to my house filming, like I could give them a good reason. I could say, "Hey, I don't want you filming," or I could just tell them to fuck off. And all three of those are right. Like you may not like the way it's gone about, but they were within their bounds.
Yeah.
But again, the woman
legally,
crashing out was completely stupid. To react like I'm being harassed just only makes you look worse.
Right. That's basically what I'm saying there. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say maybe that's would have been a better way to phrase my instead of like everyone here is an asshole statement. Maybe I should have said nobody, literally not even that employee, handled everything correctly here. That would have been a better way to say that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep.
I know we're going to come out in court.
Hey, Kat, welcome back.
Charges are going to be dropped. Chances are it's going to happen.
You're an all-star.
From I know a corporate lawyer, so I've been talking to him about this the whole way through. So I do appeal to my buddy on this. No source, but he says usually in situations like this, the PR team, the entire PR team for the corporation is going to be fired. Right? This is usual. Like get rid of them all. They've not done their job. They've not kept PR good.
Yep.
Secondly, they're going to get reckless Ben. Instead of doing any criminal charges, they're going to make him apologize about the defamatory comments. And then chances are they might drop it or they might go after his wages. But if they're trying to save face, they should give the guy $200,000 or $100,000 or whatever, get Reckless Ben to apologize, and then just everyone move on. And for the very next time this happens, we know what to do and what not to do. And if you said, oh, bricks and minifigs was that again, if Tyler Oliveira made a video about that in a month about someone else completely different, I think we are all going to join together.
Appreciate
and get
you,
behind
Kat.
him, but
yeah,
yeah, half of like if you talk to anyone in the corporate world or in Wall Street or anything like that, they all say, "Oh, he's going to be buried." Like, it's like going up to Apple and trying to say that their product is not what it is.
Yeah, I'm really curious on what happened before Ben got involved.
Come after you.
I would really like to know what's going on now. Not that it matters. Yeah, I mean, it does. The biggest problem is in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Right, but the problem is the corruption that was rooted out with this one incident from all the way from Salem, Oregon's police department, if they were really trying to cover it up, all the way to American Forks Police Department, which was in fact trying to cover it up, and they have leaked. No, I shouldn't say leaked because they released them. They were legally released and then pulled back from American Fork Police Department. The unredacted body cam footage does not look very good on
Thank God for
any
body
of them.
cams.
Right. And that actually goes back to the Trey and Dave. Yeah, the Trey and Dave debate on body cams.
Yeah.
And how they are a necessity. But anyway, I've been needing to get going for like an hour here. So I should probably be getting off before too much longer. I'm starting to feel like Brian Atlas on the whatever podcast. Just 20 more minutes, guys. Just 20 more minutes. 4 hours later.
Yeah.
But
Can you name 5 books though?
5 books? I can name 5 books. The Sword of Truth. Actually, that's the Green Eggs and Ham. Yeah, right. Anyway, but yeah, so I do greatly appreciate the people coming on the panel. Everybody that's in the chat, can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. And anybody that was on the panel that didn't get to shout out before they left the panel, I do like to give you that time to shout out your channels before you go. So please let me give you that chance if you would. With that being said, was there anything else on the subject? I don't want to just cut you off. And okay,
I'm good.
With that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap up, but like I give everybody the shout out. So is there anything that you, we'll start up with General Smedley. Was there anything you wanted to shout out?
No, just I'm glad I was here and, hanging out, and I really enjoy our conversations.
Yeah, I again, General, I really appreciate you being here. It got a little bit more contentious tonight than it normally does, but I appreciate you sticking it out. And you're always welcome back, of course. Everybody can come onto my panels. If it gets a little bit heated, we'll all either start cutting a little bit more in more often or start muting people if I have to. But with that being said, I appreciate you, General. And again, you're always welcome back. You have a good night, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Vosh, do you have anything that you'd like to shout out?
Just that if you mute, you lose. So don't
why do you think I haven't yet?
Thinking that. Oh my goodness, I was waiting to say it.
Why do you think I haven't yet? But unfortunately, as we get bigger and we get more lefties in here, I'm not going to be able to just stop them from spurging. So unfortunately, I might have to be a loser. Yeah, I might have to take that big L every once in a while, but it will be at the dire constraints. But anyway, anything else, Washington?
Sometimes you got to take the L. Just that everybody needs to like and subscribe to A Potato's Eye.
Thank you.
This has been great. And on the 20th, Leah and I have a debate. Tentatively the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we like to leave that schedule a little bit loose since we're both parents. But
fair.
It's going to be fun. My first debate ever, and I've instructed her not to take it easy on me because I know she can be vicious. So
that's fair.
Cannot. I'm so nice.
Yeah. I do want to give that shout out to that debate as well because it will be being moderated on my channel, which will be the first debate on my channel as well. So I am super excited about that. So whenever you guys get a final date, let me know and I will put together the thumbnail so we can get it advertised as much as possible if you're all right with that. And then with that being said, was there anything else, Voshmet, that you wanted to shout out?
No.
All right.
Appreciate it as always.
Yeah,
have a good night.
Appreciate you so much, man. And the shout out and the fact that you're going to debate and everything like that, I really appreciate it. You're always welcome back. You have a good night, man. All right, Heaven Maxed. What do you got?
Oh, just love the platform. Love people that are willing to have a conversation. I try not to overtalk. I know some people don't care. I know some people are really good at not over talking to the point where you just kind of sit there in silence. So we all have our quirks, but I think you do a great job moderating. I think the moderators that you got have a great job moderating. I'm a little less of a fan of Dave, but that's just a personal spite right now.
That's fair. I appreciate
I love
that.
the team and everybody. Yeah, no, you guys are all great. The community's great. Come for more than just conversations, right? Come for community. It's a great group of people here. So I love every bit, through the good and the bad.
Thank you for saying
It's
that.
a good group of people. Yeah.
I
Love you guys
appreciate
all.
that, man.
Like, fantastic group. Yeah.
Yeah, this community, this is more of like a family, or at least I'm trying to make it like a family. We fight, we have disagreements, but we love each other in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what happens, guys, I love life and I want to preserve it as much as possible, including the people that don't think that they deserve it, or we don't think that they deserve it. They deserve it because I'm not the one that gets to judge that. With that being said, was there anything else that you wanted to say, Heaven Maxed?
No, just thanks again. And yeah,
hell
appreciate
yeah.
everything you guys do.
I appreciate you, man. Again, as always, you're welcome back every chance, and you have yourself a blessed night, man. And Leia, that leaves you. What do you got for us? Actually, and yeah, Leia, go ahead.
Woo woo. Yeah, like Laura said, we're like 90% sure, like he said, we're both parents. There's been a lot going on this summer, but we're both really excited. It should be an interesting debate for sure. Happy to have it on Tater's channel and have him moderate. He does do a great job moderating. For anybody who doesn't know, whether it's a channel discussion, a panel, or a debate, is a lot more complicated than you might think watching from home. Let me just throw that out there because I've seen a couple of people criticize, not Tater specifically.
Sure.
Nobody would do that in my presence, but other moderators recently. And I just want to throw it out there. Like, it might look easy from your screen or your phone, but it's not. So we're excited about that. If you haven't subscribed to Tater and you're new here, hello, welcome, hit the sub, send him some money. We got a grift, right? And join the Discord as well if you haven't. We'd be glad to have you.
Heck yeah.
And I have a channel. You want to come by? Not a big deal.
Yeah, Leia Bobea has a channel after she just got done shouting me out and everything else but her. She has a channel. Please go check that out. Leia, thank you very much for everything that you do. Seriously, I appreciate you more than I can ever tell you. And as always, you're welcome back. Heck yeah, I appreciate you.
I'll see you.
Anyway, have a blessed night.
We'll see you soon. All right, bye.
Bye. All right, guys. And that brings us to the end of the panel, to the end of my stream. Thank you so much, everybody. Seriously, this has been an amazing panel. Today was a shit day for me, and this made my day. So thank you so much, all of you that are still hanging out with me. As always, if there's anything that I can be doing better, please let me know. I'm here for my people, my community. I love you all. Please take care of yourselves out there. Remember those Second Amendment rights within the United States, for your response time will always be faster than that of the police getting to your home. And I want to keep you around. Those outside of the United States, take care of yourselves the best way that you know how. It is getting wild out there, and I'm tired of seeing people go. As for now, watch out for your neighbors. You never know what they're going through. Be kind. Always. And as always, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you were here with me, and I cannot tell you how much that means to me. So, the potato, signing off. Christ is God, guys. Christ is God before I leave.
Brighter than the sun in the sky. Truth gets buried while the headlines lie. Echo chambers got you locked in place. Copy paste minds with a different face. You scroll, you rage, you never ask why. Swallow it whole, let the truth just die. Comfort feels good, but it's killing slow. You don't even see what you don't know. You traded thought for a dopamine hit. Now the whole damn system's counterfeit. don't you look away. Don't you look away. Think or sink, don't you look away. Truth hurts, but it's worth the pain. Stand up or fade to black. Once you lose your mind, you don't get it back. Voices shouting, but they're all the same. Different masks, but a single game. Divide, distract, keep them fighting blind while they strip the soul from the human mind. Critical thought is a dying art, replaced with noise and a hollow heart. You want easy answers, black and white, but the real world lives in the gray fight. If you never question, you'll never see. You're just another node in the machine. Think or sink, yeah, it's life or death. Every life you breathe is a borrowed breath. Wake up before it's too late. Blind faith is a self-dug grave. Think or sink through its loud road grave. Think for yourself. Question everything. Wake up. Who benefits when you don't think straight? Who writes the script that you regurgitate? Fear keeps you locked, comfort keeps you tame. But ignorance is gasoline on the flame. This isn't noise, it's survival now. Use your mind or take or so get its life.